considering they've got players like Kelly, Shuey, Hearn, Redden out there?
Well, as I think, as Berkey said, we don't know the effects of COVID, what it's having on them. You know, the names are back there and they're playing, and they've played a few games together in a row now, but they may still be coming to terms with that illness. And but when you look at the names that were out there, they were a lot better than 4-goal-9, weren't they? Really, There's quality out forward, there's quality through the midfield, there's some terrific players down back as well. So they'd be disappointed. They would have thought they'd put on a better showing than that.
The Power winners by 84 points at the Adelaide Oval over the Eagles. Let's head down into the rooms with Jack Bicketta.
Thank you, Aaron. The boys have just started making their way down, as you can imagine. Pretty happy, not too over the top. Sam Hayes, Jeremy Finlayson, Trent Dumont now getting the Gatorade shower. Let's take a listen to this. So there we have it. Port Adelaide notching their first win of the season. We hope to get you an interview shortly.
Unfortunately, we'll have to record it, Jack. We've got another 3.5 minutes before we head to Perth, but we can certainly turn it around for half-time of that contest between the Dockers and the Blues. Now, I'm going to throw myself under the bus here a bit, Berkey and Steve, but you're 3-2-1 in the ABC Footballer of the Year.
Well, I've gone one vote for Willem Drew. I just thought he had a terrific game. He had 26 disposals at 88% kicking efficiency, 13 contested, 10 tackles and 6 clearances, 9 scoring involvements. I gave 2 votes to Dan Houston, another wonderful game by Dan, and I gave best player on the ground, Connor Rozee. I thought probably Connor's best consistent match. He's kicked 5 goals in a match before, but I thought, the opportunity to play through the midfield, I think Port can only get better with him playing in that position.
So what does their best midfield look like then? Is it Rozee, Butters, Wines, Boak? You only need 3 of them to start, though.
You need more than 3. You need 8 or 9 to go through there, and that's what the good sides have. And with Butters going in there, he didn't do so much tonight, but played well against Carlton last week. Rose's, taking that next step now, so if he can continue along the way. Boak's just a fantastic player. Once again, he was 34 disposals, game high, as good as anybody, really. Just his ability to keep running is a credit to him. And Ollie Wines, after that scare, I thought he got better as the game went on as well. So there's still some quality that they have in the midfield. And I also like to give a shout out to the big ruckman there in Sam Hayes. Second game of footy, I thought some of his tap work tonight was terrific against a couple of inexperienced players that the West Coast had in ruck. But, I think he's developing pretty nicely after being on the list for, 5 or 6 years. Took a long time to get an opportunity, but he's taking it with both hands.
Certainly felt like we called him winning the hit-outs most of the time. We don't have hit-outs set on our Champion Data laptop, so I'm going to pull him up and just see exactly how well he did.
And that's another big thing for next week because...
48 to 16.
Yeah.
48-16, yeah. So next week he'll come up against Paddy Ryder and Rowan Marshall. So they'll need him to compete like he did tonight.
Yeah.
And there might be something more in it for Paddy Ryder, shall we say? just that against your old team,
Berkey, great to have you in Adelaide. Sorry the game didn't live up to the hype, but hope you enjoyed it.
Enjoyed being up here with you guys.
Steve, thank you as always.
Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, it's been a good day for Port Adelaide people.
Crossy, great to have you back on the team.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple of weeks back out in the public.
Yep, it's good to be out and talking to other people.
Thanks to Paul Brokenshaw, to Jack Bicketta as well, and to Andrew Williamson back in the studio earlier today. Adelaide defeating the Western Bulldogs by a point. Taylor Walker kicked 3, including the match winner. Ben Keys had 33 disposals. The Crows sitting in 9th on the live ladder after upsetting the Western Bulldogs, who have moved all the way down to 11th. And then the middle game tonight saw Port Adelaide waltz over the West Coast Eagles, 84-point winners to open their campaign, 18-9, 117 to 4-9, 33. Connor Rozee was the Peter Badco medalist. He had 31 disposals. Travis Boak had 34. The best for the Eagles was Alex Witherden with 34. Tim Kelly with 31. Coming up next, we're headed to Perth Stadium. Clip Weldon, Ben Cameron, Cara Antonio and Michael Braun. Could be the game of the round. Fremantle and Carlton. Looking forward to it next on Grandstand AFL.
ABC Sport now has its very own newsletter, and we'd be pumped to have you on board.
The ABC of Sport will provide a wrap of all the best stuff that's happening in sport every week.
Simply go to abc.net.au/connect
and get ready for a sport hit in your inbox every Friday.
Get on board with the ABC of Sport newsletter
for content that makes you think
or allows you not to.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2022 AFL Premiership season. We're gonna be kids. Grandstand AFL
on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
It's the 25th Len Hall Tribute game, a hugely important match for the Fremantle Dockers. One club who has started season 2022 with a bang. They're up against another team who started brilliantly, both of them with 4 wins from 5 games. Will it be the Dockers or the Blues who continue on their merry way? Two sides desperate for finals football. Carlton haven't been there since 2013. Freo not since 2015. A win today would take them a big step towards September action. Are they the real deal? We'll shortly find out. Hello and welcome, Clint Wilden with you alongside Ben Cameron in commentary. And I mentioned, Ben, it is the Len Hall Tribute game. Really important game for the Fremantle Football Club.
Yeah, thank you, Clint. Great to be here. It's a game that Fremantle do so well. The 25th annual Len Hall Tribute match. The 4th time they've played Carlton. The last 2 years it's been cancelled due to COVID, unfortunately. They have a good record in this fixture. They've won 16 of the previous 24, though they've lost 2 out of the previous 3 against Carlton. But who would have thought it? Carlton and Fremantle on a Saturday night, both 4-1, the match of the round. I can't wait.
It does pay respect to the veteran community tonight. If you're wondering who Len Hall is, he was WA's last Gallipoli veteran, a member of the 10th Light Horse. Born in Sydney in 1897, he died aged 101 in Perth in 1999. And I'm really looking forward to the ode in a short time from now. 103-year-old World War II veteran Arthur Leggett, Order of Australia medal winner, will be reciting the ode, part of the 2nd 11th Battalion, the City of Perth Regiment's 6th Division, who fought against the Italian army in Libya and participated in battles like those of Tobruk. He was captured by German paratroopers in Crete in Greece in 1941 when he was just 22. Looking forward to seeing Arthur Leggett recite the ode very shortly. Brief thoughts from our experts. We'll get more of a solid preview after the official ceremony downstairs. But Michael Braun, Premiership player, Cara Antonio, All-Australian, with us here on Grandstand AFL. This is, I think Aaron Bryan summed it up pretty well, outside of the excitement of the Anzac Day clash, Collingwood and Essendon, this is just about the match of the round. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks, Clint, Benny, Brawny and listeners. I'm really excited for this game. Both teams in some red-hot form in previous weeks and both fairly young sides. I'm excited for the midfield battle tonight with Cripps coming back in, but Hewitt's been awesome. Walsh and obviously Chera back against his old mob will be exciting. But the likes of Brayshaw's been outstanding as well. Sarong, Mundy and Will Brodie for me has been that in and under player. Number 1 contested at the Dockers at the moment and number 1 for clearances. So for me, it'll be won and lost in the midfield.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I totally agree, Cara. I think it's a midfield battle, but both teams coming off tremendous form and tremendous wins, 4-1, 3rd and 6th respectively. But Matt Taberner kicking 7 goals last week. I want to see, can he back it up? And can Fremantle back up such a great win last week? They've got Matt Taberner has to start well tonight. He's a confidence player. He was kicking him beautifully last week. Let's see if we can do it again tonight. But yeah, 2 good informed sides. It's going to be an excellent match tonight.
These games at this venue have provided thrillers in recent times. Last 2 of them have been decided by just 4 points, one after the siren, the other in the last 30 seconds of the game. Hopefully tonight's the same. Let's head downstairs for the start of the observance ceremony.
Turn to the left, left turn. Guard, open order, march. Guard, right, dress. Guard, eyes, front. Guard, general salute, present, arms. Guard, attention. Stand at ease.
The Australian Football League and the Fremantle and Carlton football clubs invite you to join the coaches, players and umpires as we honour the Anzacs and all those men and women who gave their lives in the service of their country. Our thoughts too are with those currently on active service. Would you now please stand and remove your hats for the Anzac Observance? Today is the 25th annual Len Hall Tribute Game, which is named in honour of Western Australia's last Gallipoli veteran, Len Hall. To join us on this occasion, we welcome Arthur Leggett, OAM EM, 103-year-old World War II veteran and President of the Ex-Prisoner Association WA, to recite the ode.
Guard, attention.
They shall grow not old as we who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. With the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them, lest we forget.
Guard, present, arms. Guard, attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by the Royal Australian Navy Band vocalist, able seaman Laura Kendall.
Guard, present, arms.
Australians
Immaculately observed. Minute silence in front of a sold-out crowd at Perth Stadium for Fremantle against Carlton. The MC then, Mark Reddings, and also worth mentioning the bugler, Petty Officer Nigel Barrett. As the teams break from standing side by side beneath our broadcast position at the northern wing, Carlton in their predominantly white away kit. The Dockers back in the traditional purple with the 3 white chevrons across the chest. A big game for both of these sides, as we mentioned before. Questions about are they the real deal? Certainly plenty of people starting to warm to that with Fremantle. They've won their past 3. The Blues were impressive for most of the game and then got a real fright last week against Port Adelaide, but were able to hang on. And in the battles between these games, Carlton have won the past 4. Last year, of course, round 16 at the MCG, a Fremantle home game as it was in those COVID-affected times, pretty much summed up Fremantle's season. They kicked 8 goals, 16-64 to lose to the Blues by 16 points, 12-8-80. They had their chances and couldn't convert in front of goal. They're a much different outfit this year. In terms of quarters, they've won all 5 opening terms and won all 5 final terms as well. On average, they're 16 points better than any other side in their final term. That has been costly for them in recent outings, particularly against this side. How will the Baggers go up against the Dockers? Let's get some more thoughts from our experts, Cara Antonio and Michael Braun on Grandstand AFL.
Well, Brawny, you mentioned just before we went down to the Oval for the last side, but Wiedering obviously will take Taberner. He was in great form last week, kicked 7. So that's the battle for me. That will be quite interesting. Lockie Schultz coming back into the side. We know he's the barometer for the pressure within forward 50 for Fremantle, with his score involvements as well. So that's a great inclusion. Down the other end of the field, I'd like to get your thoughts. So you've got both Mackay, who probably you'd think Pearce would take Mackay. I don't know. And then obviously you got Charlie Curnow, who Logue might go to. What are your thoughts, and how do you see that one panning out?
Yeah, well, they're both very good players, aren't they? Both very good forwards, both very good backmen for Freo as well. Mackay, for me, is the one you've got to stop. Yeah. Curnow is more the kind of roaming up the ground a little bit. But Heath Mackay, he takes a strong mark and he's a really good kick for goal. I just think that this team, both teams, are evenly matched. I think that Carlton's, run off the half back with Said, give plenty of run. And then you've got the small forwards of Fremantle. You've got Fremantle and Carlton's on-board brigade that are both in very good form. And then obviously Chera adds a little bit of spice coming back to his own, his old club. So interesting to see. Aaron Hamill from St Kilda's assistant coach for Carlton, he said in the press that it's an honour to be booed by opposition. So he's preparing Chera to get booed by the crowd. And I'm sure he will every time he'll go near the ball. But I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a fantastic game. They're both in good form. My biggest issue, and I think that everyone's waiting for Fremantle to back it up with a very good win against a very good side in Carlton. I want Taberner to come out of his shell, kick another bag of 4, maybe 5 goals. He's got to start early. He's got to start well early, get his confidence up. He should be, in reasonable spirits anyway.
Let's head downstairs and find out what it's like on the boundary. It's a Grandstand AFL debut and a big welcome to Cash Fodadar.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, there's a buzz of anticipation down here, but you couldn't ask for better conditions for football. It's 23 degrees and only the slightest of breeze. The starting bench of Freo, Mundy, Tucker, Walker and Frederick. Banfield is the sub. And for Carlton, Durden, Newman, Hewitt and Nunes, and Boyd is the sub.
Here we go. It's the Dockers and the Blues on Grandstand AFL. Ben Cameron to get us started.
Pitnet and Darcy. Darcy wins down the tap. Pitnet follows up. Brayshaw goes in. A big bump. Pitnet picks it up. Gets a handball away now. Cripps after it for the Blues. Handball looking for Walsh. Still in the middle. Coming through Schultz. Accidentally soccers it away and Sarong picks it up from half-back. Punts the Dockers towards half-forward. Walters creates a contest down at ground level. Parks then a mop up for the Blues. Gets it away to Sard. A clever little kick to the wing. And he finds Martin on the lead. He marks alongside the interchange gates. One of 5 West Aussies coming home playing for the Navy Blues today. Martin on the wing, kicks them towards half forward. Coming up, the Koning marks on his chest. He's got it 60 from home for the Blues.
De Koning will put it into the left forward pocket. He wants Mackay. Got to it, couldn't mark it. Spilled down to Darcy. Hand pass backwards to fullback, putting his head over at Ryan. Met by Wiedering. They go to ground. Umpire says we'll ball it up.
Well, you can see early the back six of Freo. They want to try and chop that run off from the Mackays and Kernos. Good start.
Throwing aloft. Darcy versus De Koning. Came off Darcy's arm. Spilled to ground. Walsh went out after it. Couldn't quite keep it in. Brodie alongside him. Throwing about 5 metres to the left of the goals for Carlton.
Well, you're right there. You've got Logue on Kerno and Pearce on Mackay. Great call there. Cara, beautiful stuff there.
Blues attacking to the Farmer Freeway end, the left of our broadcast position in this turn. De Koning front position, won it down. Chera put his head over it. That's what the Boos are for. Merging with it though, Sarong gets a hurried kick away. Will it bounce over the boundary line? It will. Throw in the call. It's at left half forward for the Blues. No score. Opening 2 minutes in the first term on Grandstand AFL, ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Carlton in their white, Fremantle in their home purple. There's a free kick from the throw-in. It'll go to Pitnet. Handball away to Doherty. Straight into trouble. Gets it off to Fisher. He's under pressure. Comes to Switkowski. Clark through the middle. He's run down. Umpire says he got a disposal away. Now on to Switkowski again. Walters attacking edge of the square. Chera got him. Caught. Umpire says held in. We'll get a ball up inside the centre square. Attacking edge for the Dockers. Umpire puts it aloft. Darcy takes it out of the ruck. Handball away to Brodie. Handball to Brayshaw. Runs to the attacking edge. Kicks towards full forward. Bouncing ball towards the goal line. Wiedering. He rushes it through for a minor score. A cool head from Jacob Wiedering. First score of the night. A minor won the way of the Dockers. We've played 2 minutes 40. No score for Carlton here in this 25th annual Len Hall tribute match.
So the Blues, they bring it back into play through Saar. Takes a couple of bounces and then kicks beyond defensive 50. 2-on-2 battle at left half back. And then a mark being paid to Pitnet. I think he had all that to start with up against Darcy. Umpire says it's your ball. Kicks the Blues to left half forward. Cox attacks the footy. Wings it down to Pearce. Hand pass to Cox. That was well done. Freo away through Brodie. From centre wing commentary side. He'll kick in the direction of Walters. Goes up against Wiedering. Ball's allowed to go over the back, but Wiedering will get the free kick. Being pushed in the context. Tunnelled perhaps by Walters. And Wiedering will have it for the Blues. And he'll go beyond defensive 50 to left half back. Darcy attacks the footy. Spills down to Sarong. Goes back to Akers, who's away. He'll kick inside forward 50. Coming out trying to mark. They couldn't quite get to it. Taberner. Mopped up by Doherty. Back to Wiedering of the Blues. And a clearing kick beyond defensive 50 again.
Just a high ball. Pack forms coming through Martin. Can't quite take the mark. Brodie goes after it at ground level. Lots of players around the footy. The umpire circles. He calls for it. We'll get a ball up. 55 out from the attacking goal for the Dockers.
It's a hot contest already. You can tell that Dockers want to get numbers to the contest, and especially in the air.
Pitnet swats it down. Brodie straight onto it. He's tackled quickly by Cripps. And the umpire to come in again. Fremantle have been good starters this year. They've won all 5 of their opening terms in 2022. Darcy down to Sarong. Squeezes a kick off the left boot. Straight up and down. Martin gathers it. Handball to Williams. Handball to Cottrell. High kick towards the wing. Cox and De Koning. Cox drags it in. A good mark. He'll have it on the logo. Fremantle 1 behind. Carlton yet to score. We've played 4.5 minutes.
Dockers heading to the city end of Perth Stadium as Cox puts it inside forward 50. Big flight at the back came from Lobb. Couldn't get to it. Spills down to Walters. Was tackled by Chera. Ball spilled out. Holding the ball, the decision. Chera will have it back. Expect to hear plenty of that tonight. The former Freo favourite heads into the left back pocket. Doherty then goes beyond defensive 50 to Cottrell, who marks right with a 50-metre arc, meets the boundary line, sends it towards the commentary wing. Front position was Cripps, spills down Brodie, tapped it in the direction of Cox, puts Fremantle back inside forward 50. Wanted Walters, front position Wiedering. He takes the defensive mark, cool, calm and collected. Dockers lead by behind. Carlton yet to score. 5.5 gone in the first term.
Took 10 marks last week, Jacob Wiedering. 7 coaches' votes. Kicks to the wing, looking for De Koning. There's a free kick. It'll go the way of Carlton. Blake Akers didn't like it. So De Koning to take it.
He was lucky he didn't get a free kick down the field just then.
So De Koning at left half back for the Blues. Will sink his big left slipper into it. Kicks around the northern wing in the pit net direction. Curnow comes up. Strong contested mark. And we saw a lot of that last week from Charlie Curnow. 10 coaches' votes. Now he goes inside 50. Over the head of Pearson Mackay. Goes towards the back and tumbles out. A throw in the left forward pocket here for the Blues. Looking for their first score of the evening. Fremantle one behind. Carlton yet to score. 6 minutes and change into the opening stanza.
Capacity crowd in, still at 75% crowd capacity, but it is a sellout. Thrown in. Darcy couldn't gather. Oh, emerging with it and snapping. Oh, he's kicks the goal. From about 30 metres out, he pounced on the footy. And he gives the Blues the first of the night. 1 straight 6. Fremantle 1 behind. So it's Carlton by 5.6 and a bit gone in the first.
Well, I mean, Fremantle have had 5 inside 50s to just Carlton's 2. And, you know, a goal resulting from a stoppage, they'll be pretty happy with that. Fremantle's delivery inside 50, it's been really predictable, straight in, as deep as possible, and Carlton are picking it off. Whereas down the other end, there's a little bit more space and time for Carlton's forwards, but in that respect, just a really, really smart crumb in the right space at the right time and a nice little snap.
Yeah, just a real opportunist goal, isn't it? That's what the small forwards are there, get in tight traffic.
That is the knock on Fremantle, isn't it, Cara? Their mid-forward connection, inside 50 entries. How much bang for their buck do they get? Darcy and Pitnet in the middle. Darcy jumps straight into him. Might have hurt him as well. Wins the tap to Brayshaw to Walker. Walker out towards the wing. Shoots. His little legs pumping. He marks it and plays on. Kicks inside 50. In the Taberner direction. Over the head it goes. Out towards the back. And happy enough to see it through for a rush behind is Newman.
Same thing again. Lob and Taberner are both behind their opponents.
And they're both leading to the same ball.
Yeah.
Blues bring it away towards right half back. It's over the boundary line for a throw in. Akash Fodor's downstairs. Akash, what have you got?
Yeah, Mark Pitnet is just being helped off the ground by the trainers. He was holding his left knee after that right contest, and he looks to be in a bit of trouble, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, needs the assistance of trainers under both arms to get him off the ground as the ball spun back into play. Darcy tried to get it out. Cripso off the ground. Fired a hand pass to Williams. Now to Walsh. Blues are away to Martin. Got tackled by Schutz. Was able to get a hand pass forward though. Mopped up by Brayshaw of the Dockers. Gives it to Pearce. Kicks towards the commentary wing. Fredericks attacks it. Waiting there, De Koning did well. Slapped it forward. Nunes tried to get it. Pressure came from Akers. He couldn't gather the ball. Ricochets away. And over for a boundary. Throwing left half forward for the Blues.
It was the ruck duel in the middle. That's knee on knee. He's come off with that knee.
Just watching on the big screen here.
Ruckman's cursed that.
Pitnet really limping down the race. Throwing in, De Koning does the ruck work. Won it down, hand pass on towards Cripps. Taken 360. Was allowed to get a hand pass away to Walsh, and he stabs it into the chest of Williams, who marks on the logo commentary wing. 9 gone, opening term. The Blues by 4 points.
Williams, the boyhood blue bagger, goes short to Cripps, the skipper, who moves it on to Jackie Nunes. Freo fans don't have favourable memories of him. He goes short around the boundary to Walsh. Now Walsh wants to look towards full forward. Goes long. Curnow's there. Almost has it. Doesn't quite bring it down. Comes out towards Owies, who almost gets a kick away. Then loses it. Lots of players around the footy. Clever little handball out to Cottrell. De Koning jams it on the boot and misses away to the right-hand side. Behind. And the first blemish of the night for Carlton. They're 1-1-7. Fremantle 2 behinds. We've played 10 minutes in the opening term.
Fremantle move it short with the kick in. Comes to Cox. Short again up the corridor to Walker. Has to go to Lowe, who marks at left half back. Peter Bell telling us on Sports Talk, our local program this morning, that he will be a Fremantle player into the future, no matter what's been written in the papers about interest from interstate. Lowe short to Brayshaw. Waits, player runs by, and Clark receives the hand pass. Thumping kick inside forward 50. Sport the back came from Wiedering. The player spotted a free kick though. It's going the way of the Dockers. Over the shoulder, the call, and it will come back for Taberner.
Not too sure about that one. I think he was a little bit lucky.
I'm keen to see that in replay myself. Wiedering was there, went up. He has put the left arm across Taberner's chest, but then he's won the punch with the right.
He was making sure his ears were warm.
Head downstairs in just a moment. Matt Taberner, 7 goals last week. Can he continue on with that sort of performance? He'll put boots a ball from right on 50. It's out to the left. The kick on its way. It's not going to be a goal. In fact, it's punched through for a minor score. Fremantle go to be 3 behind. Carlton the 1-1-7. 11.5 gone in the first to Cash Fodderars downstairs.
Yeah, Mark Pitnet went straight down the race with the doctor and the physio, and Jordan Boyd has been doing some run-throughs and now doing some kicks with the staff on the sideline.
Carlton moving it short. Setterfield, short to Walsh. Right on the paint of his defensive 50. Moves it on towards the wing. Hewitt can't take the mark. Tucker's there for the Dockers. Collier picks it up. Handball away to Taberner. Now Brodie. Back to Collier. Goes short towards Frederick. In the Fremantle long, he's bundled over after taking the mark. The Freo fans wanted 50. The umpire says it's not there. Frederick just sets it up to the pocket, looking for Walters or Schultz. Schultz gathers it off hands. He's taken to ground. And the umpire circles. He'll ball it up. Left forward pocket for the Dockers. Searching for their first major. 3 behinds. Carlton 1-1-7. De Koning flicks it down. Tucker coming through. Shovels out a handball. Away towards Collier, and then De Koning jams it on the boot. High up and under. Walker goes up. Loose footy at centre half forward here for the Dockers.
Martin gets a hand pass away to Nunes under real pressure. His hand pass went straight to Mundy, who spots a teammate Darcy inside forward 50. He marks 47 out from goal, slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the right.
It was just good pressure by Fremantle when Carlton trying to bring the ball out of their defensive 50, but I was more concerned with Frederick's kick before that going to Schultz or Walters. You know, you've got to go to your tall key targets.
Sean Darcy, 3 goals, 2 for the season. Last year's best and fairest sends the kick on its way. It curls back and hits the left-hand goalpost. 4 behinds now for Fremantle. Carlton the 1-1-7, 13 gone in the opening term on Grandstand AFL.
Williams with a kick into Newman in the left back pocket. Fair draw on that set shot there from Sean Darcy. Newman in the left back pocket for the Blues. Sets it up towards the wing. Cox got his fist on it. There's a free kick advantage, Carlton. Here goes Hewitt. Tries to bite off the kick on the 45. Going to ground. Mackay. Now Pearce attacks it for the Dockers. Runs his measure. Runs to the logo. Kicks to half forward. The Blues have the numbers. Parks handball to Doherty. Handball back to Newman, who chisels the ball towards the logo. Good kick. He finds a sliding Hewitt. Carlton leading by 3 points, 14 minutes played opening term.
Hewitt, who's been in tremendous form after switching from the Swans to Cottrell, who marks in the centre square. He'll put it out to the defensive point of the centre square at right half back. Young for Carlton to Wiedering, just shy of the logo, southern side to Doherty, marking right up against the boundary. Southern wing here at Perth Stadium. He pauses for a moment to assess what's in front of him. Will get told to move it on. Takes a couple of steps, now kicks high and long towards right half forward. Big pack up, no mark taken. Spilled down. Little effort from Setterfield. Ball bounced inside forward 50 for the Blues. Clark got in the way though for the Dockers. He gave it to Sarong. Beautifully measured pass out towards Schultz to Brodie, who slipped over. Was able to get a hand pass away. Following up again, Akers moves it forward. Great tackle, Cottrell. Locks in his opponent. It's not coming out of there. Mundy tackled the moment he received it. Ball up will be the call.
Great pressure from Carlton building here. You don't ask for the footy unless you know what's ahead of you.
One down by the Blues, but straight to a Dockers player who's tackled immediately by Hewitt, who's climbing up off that. It's Sarong. No surprises there. And back to the umpire, who throws it all off once more.
Flicking it down, lob. Spits out to Walker, who wants to go short for Fremantle. Looking for Switkowski. Can't quite take the mark. Now has to go back after it at ground level. Does better than everyone else. Gives it off to Brodie. Brodie kicks to half forward. Poor kick. Wiedering could have marked. Elected to go with the fist out towards the wing, Setterfield, and then he goes back to Parks. It goes right back into the right back pocket, and a sliding mark from Parks. He wants to retreat all the way back to Newman in the defensive goal square, short to Fisher. And Carlton content to chip it around. They lead by 3 points. Quarter hour mark, dangerous kick from Fisher, almost turns it over, but able to mop it up, Walsh.
Walsh shared it with Nunes and got it back at centre-half back and then flares it out towards the outer wing. Chance for the Blues to set up again. This is Setterfield. Pauses. That's a dangerous kick inboard. Very dangerous. It was knocked down by Brodie. Trying to work it out again, though. It's mopped up by the Blues once more. Doherty got it from Williams, and then Doherty kicked to right half forward. De Koning, a chance to send it inside forward 50. Durden, no mark taken. It's there again for Martin, who kicks around the body towards full forward. Curnow flies at the top of the goal square, and he drags in the mark. He was awesome last week. He'll play on. Curnow snaps around the body. He puts it through for the Blues second. The Carlton flags fly at the Farmer Freeway end. 2-1-13 Carlton. 4 behinds the Dockers. 17 gone in the opening term. Clint Wilden alongside Ben Cameron in commentary. Our experts, Premiership player Michael Braun, All-Australian Cara Antonio.
Well, Fremantle had 2 opportunities there in the centre of the ground to turn the ball over. Carlton had numbers there. They wanted the ball more. Were able to get it inside forward 50. The difference again for me, your Curnows and your Mackays are actually running at the footy. They're not stationary like your Lobs and your Taberners, and that's why they're taking these nice marks and getting opportunities to score.
And they're actually splitting their defenders as well, so the other defender can't come over and help his teammates. So good job by Carlton splitting the Logan Pearce, isn't it? Yep, Logan Pearce is down there.
So Carlton get the jump start. Lob in the ruck, slaps it down, but straight onto it. Chera, handball errant, going after it again. Lob, it spits out the side to Hewitt. He kicks the Blues inside, attacking 50. In the direction of Martin. Cox works his way to the front. Almost juggles the mark. Not quite. Now Martin again at ground level. Pearce picks it up. He's tackled quickly. Martin goes in again. All of this on the digits of 50 for the Blues. Fremantle work it out through hands. Walker away to Waishu. Kicks to the wing. Poor kick. And Sard Marks wants to wheel and go. Takes a bounce. Thumps it long inside 50. In the Curnow direction. Getting back Pearce. He takes the mark. A defensive mark 25 metres out from the defensive goal for the Dockers. Carlton 2-1-13. Fremantle 4 behinds. We played 18 and a half in the opening term.
Knee problems downstairs for Harry Mackay as well. The Blues bigs are in a bit of strife as it kicks beyond defensive 50. It's there for Young of Carlton. Kicks back inside the forward 50 for them. Spoil came from Clark. Ball bobbling around. Chera fires the hand pass to Cripps. He breaks the tackle of Waters. Kicks towards goal. It's turning left, but not enough. He misses. To the right-hand side. 2-2-14 the Blues. 4 behinds the Dockers. A cash Fodderars on the boundary. 19 gone in the first.
Yeah, the Carlton medical staff are looking at Harry Mackay's lower right leg. He's just doing a few little walkthroughs and side-to-side jog-throughs along the boundary, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Ryan thumps it up the middle. Looking for Lob, can't mark. Switkowski front and centre, does well, gets it off to Sarong. Taberner leads up the middle. He's 70 metres from home, has Collier streaming towards the pocket and spots him on his chest. 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle left-hand side.
Fantastic there by Lob. That's what you want your big men to do. He couldn't take the mark. He palmed it straight down, front and centre to his smalls. And then a great vision by Taberner as well. He didn't have much ahead of him. Collier had obviously run really hard down that left-hand wing and has a nice set shot here.
Harry Mackay down to the rooms. Trav Collier from just inside 50. Sets it out wide to the right across the face. He's missed a lot. Out of bounds on the full. In fact, it was touched on the way through. Off hands of the pack. And a deep forward 50 throw in for the Dockers. The boundary umpire right alongside the right-hand behind post. 10 points Carlton's advantage. 2-2 plays 4 behinds.
Spun back in. Darcy front position. Palmed it down straight to Doherty though. Clearing kick beyond defensive 50. It bounces and it's taken by Cox. He then goes across the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in right half forward for Fremantle. Great start by the Blues here in the West. Their lead is 10 points. Freo have had their chances though. It's spun back in. Darcy won it down. Tucker had it knocked out of his grasp. Cripps picks it up for the Blues. Hand pass Walsh. Without knowing who has it, the Blues will tell you. It's the Blues Chera. He goes towards left half forward. Logue brings it to ground. Walker at the back's able to pick it up for Fremantle. Oh, Cox backing back under real pressure from Cottrell, who tackles him across the boundary line. It's going to be a ball in from the boundary umpire at left half forward for Carlton. Walsh has had 10 disposals already in this game. Brodie the leading with Sarong with 6 for the Dockers. Throwing in Darcy. Took clean possession. The umpire, though, thought it was a push against Darcy. It'll come back to De Koning. He's a rare player for the Blues at the moment as one of their bigs. 2 of them down in the rooms. Koning's kick is short. Pitternet with a knee injury. Mackay with a knee injury. Both missing right now. Comes out towards Newman. He'll kick towards full forward. Big mark, Cox. Well done. Front position, dragging the footy at fullback. Saves the day then for Fremantle to move it short to Aish. She's in the right back pocket. Carlton's lead 10 points, 22 gone in the first term. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Aish just tight ropes the boundary line with a short kick to Sarong. Good to see 2 lots of the long sleeves out there with Aish and also Frederick as Sarong goes right back to fullback and Logue, who wants to switch it to Ryan in the left back pocket. Chips it over the top and leading up O'Driscoll. His first meaningful involvement tonight.
Brawny, you a fan of the long sleeve?
I used to wear a long sleeve when it was cold. Yes, back in the early days.
I'm surprised you're a fan of a shirt at all.
I'm allergic to them according to your Instagram.
Mate, I'm in hot weather all the time. I can't wear long sleeves in hot weather.
You could wear some sleeves.
Boundary throw in, southern side of the ground, neutral territory.
They always shrink
by 10 points.
In the wash, they always shrink.
Yeah.
Dog eat.
Darcy slaps it down in front, but Cripps steals it, runs into Darcy. Bursts through, gets a handball to Walsh. The Dockers set upon him. Mundy pinches it. Gets a handball moving forward to O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll goes short, looking for Frederick. Can't mark. Collier coming through. All of this at half forward for the Dockers. Frederick run down. Cripps got him, holding the ball. Switkowski wants to go on with it. They have a little bit of a wrestle. And I think, Sam, you're out of your weight division there.
It's not the first time we've seen players fall over again, and it happened a couple of weeks ago when we were back here.
Has to be a bit Jewish for sure.
So Cripps elects to go across the face of goal. Able to find Young, who marks. Lewis Young, former Bulldog. Pauses for a moment to go beyond defensive 50 for the Blues with the kick. Flying up was Cox. Sees the ball over the boundary line as it went over his hands. It'll be a throw in at left half back for the Blues. Paddy Cripps has got a lot to say out there at the moment as he orders his teammates around. Ball put back into play. De Koning battles against Darcy. Neither with a telling touch. It goes down to Walsh. Got it to Chera. Hand pass forward. Met by Walker. Ran straight into Hewitt. The ball ricochets away and out of his grasp. And back over the boundary line for another throw-in. Still at left half back for Carlton. They lead by 10. 24 gone in the first.
Fremantle held scoreless in one other quarter this year. That was the third term against Adelaide back in round 1. Umpire spins it in. Darcy down to Mundy, to Switkowski, to Brayshaw. Runs into a Sard tackle and called holding the ball. No, Fremantle just can't quite get it going here in this opening term. Free kick to Adam Sard at left half back for the Blues. They lead by 10 points. Bad news for the Blues though. Pitternet with the knee injury and Harry Mackay with the same. Both have visited the rooms as Sard goes long around the northern wing looking for a marker in De Koning. At the fall of the ball, Clark onto it. Handball away to Ryan. Almost decapitated. He'll get a free kick. Coming through, Owies just clipped the back of Luke Bryan's head. He made the most of it. Wins a free kick and moves it short to Sarong.
So Sarong at right half back. Short for the Dockers to Brayshaw. Some positive news downstairs for the Blues. Pitnet has made his way back up from the race, walked beneath our broadcast position. Sits down on the bench as Brayshaw for Fremantle to right half forward. Lob went out after it, couldn't mark it, still down to De Koning. Hand pass to Chera, runs to the logo, commentary ring, and kicks down the throat of Pierce, who marks for Fremantle. Plays on by hand to Clark. Late in the opening term, have the Dockers got a goal in them? Clark, not sure where to go immediately, and then spots Aish in the centre square, moves it short, then kicks to Mundy, who turns off a step, finds Switkowski. Attacking point of the centre square at left half forward. He sends it inside attacking 50, but down the throat of Young.
Collier all by himself on that far wing as well. Not the right kick there.
He had no left foot.
Young marks at fullback, and the Blues will be able to control this as they work their way towards quarter time to Setterfield, who marks in the right back pocket. Will take a step and send it towards right half back. Front position there was Darcy, who drags in the mark.
So Darcy goes back towards the pocket, looking for Lob. He goes up, brings it down. He's hard to stop when he launches at the footy like that. Lob's got it, 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle in the left forward pocket.
That's what you want from your big man. Stand there, take big pack marks. Now, 20 or 30 seconds left in this quarter. He's got to put scoreboard pressure on.
Looking for some reward for effort. Lob comes in, goes with the drop punt and bangs it through. Delivers the Dockers a much-needed goal. Their first of the night. And he makes it 4 points at quarter time. 1-4-10 plays 2-2-14. Carlton lead the Dockers out west on this Saturday night. Grandstand AFL, Clint Wilden, myself, Ben Cameron, Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Well, a great contested mark there, Brawny. Really nice deep forward 50 entry kick there by Sean Darcy. And again, we spoke about it at the start of the call. We thought Taberner may step up, but tonight maybe Lob's night. He's been good up the ground. He's been able to contest a few marks, and when he hasn't marked it, he's brought it to ground.
It was because he had one-on-one as well. Waters did have his man there, but he was one-on-one in the air. And when key forwards have one-on-one, most likely goes to the forwards.
Quarter time siren will happen at any moment. Bounce of the footy, 28 minutes gone in the term. De Koning won it down. Terrific quarter to watch from the neutrals' perspective. Carlton lead by 4 points, and for the first time in 2022, Fremantle haven't won the opening term of footy. The Blues 2-2-14, Fremantle 1-4-10. The goal kickers for the Blues, Charlie Curnow and Matt Owies, while for Fremantle, the most recent goal, as you heard from Ben Cameron, off the boot of Rory Lobb. The Blues by 4 points at quarter time. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital, this is Grandstand AFL.
Ready for some new adventures? Back Roads is back. From the macho mining town of Tom Price in WA to outback Queensland and Tasmania's Cradle Mountain, join me, Heather Hewitt, and some of my fellow guest explorers for a journey to some of this country's most remote towns, full of surprising and memorable characters.
All new Back Roads. New adventures Monday nights on ABC TV and streaming on ABC iView.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season. Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Throwing in, Darcy couldn't gather. Emerging with it and snapping. He's kicks the goal. From about 30 metres out, he pounced on the footy and he gives the Blues the first of the night. No mark taken. There again for Martin, who kicks around the body towards full forward. Curnow flies at the top of the goal square and he drags in the mark. He was awesome last week. He'll play on. Curnow snaps around the body. He puts it through for the Blues second. The Carlton flags fly at the Farmer Freeway end.
So Darcy goes back towards the pocket, looking for Lob. He goes up, brings it down. He's hard to stop when he launches at the footy like that. Looking for some reward for effort. Lob comes in, goes with the drop punt and bangs it through.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Results earlier today, Adelaide in a thriller over the Western Bulldogs in Ballarat. The Crows winning by a point. And then Port Adelaide belting the Eagles by 84 in Adelaide. Here at Perth Stadium, the 25th annual Len Hall tribute match. It's the Blues who lead at quarter time, 2-2-14 to the Dockers 1-4-10. Let's get the thoughts of our experts on Grandstand AFL, Premiership player Michael Braun and All-Australian Cara Antonio.
Well, Cara, I think it's a great game of football to start with. I think both teams are really having a dip, and I think Benny called it before. Reward for effort. Now, Freo are creating enormous amounts of turnovers, but they're not hitting the scoreboard. They're not making Carlton pay by hitting the scoreboard. And the best pressure out in a football game is scoreboard pressure. But their effort is fantastic. Carlton's effort is fantastic. The only difference is, and I think we touched on it again, is that Fremantle's forwards, Taberner and Lobb, are running together. They're not splitting, making the defenders split, whereas Curnow and Mackay, they're doing exactly that, and they're getting one-on-one, and we're just seeing just then that when Lobb comes up one-on-one, he takes a good, strong, contested mark. Fantastic. There's not much in the sides, not much at all.
Nah, it's been a great first quarter, to be honest. You've touched on it, Brawny, and we spoke about it during that quarter. The forwards for Freo, they're playing behind up the ground as well, so it's a little bit hard for D50 transition for the backs, but I've been really impressed by Carlton. Their pressure, they're plus 12 in tackles. They only average 53 on rough past games, 53 for a game. They're already at 22. So you can tell that that's been their focus coming in. Freo pride themselves on their pressure. They're number 4 in the comp for their tackles. So they're winning in that aspect. Freo, and you mentioned it, plus 4 in inside 50s, just wasted opportunities. For me, with Collier having a shot from almost outside 50, if he couldn't make the distance, he needed to call forwards up to lead at the foot, which wasn't happening. So, look, it's going to be an arm wrestle. I'm excited for what's to come in the rest of this game. But, there's not much, as you mentioned, that separates both sides.
And what about this, Benny? What do you reckon Mackay and Curnow could be the new Batman and Robin of the AFL, taking over from Darling and Kennedy?
Well, who's who?
Well, that's a good question. A very good
Charlie
question.
Curnow's a pretty good player to be
very
Robin.
Those two up forward, wouldn't you want? They're all 24, 25 years of age. They've got a bright future.
I remember seeing a photo of you as Robin.
Well, he's more Catwoman.
I've said before.
Colby Middlemass was Batman, no surprises.
Robin does all of the cool stuff. Some of the numbers up to quarter time. Carlton lead the contested possessions, plus 7 clearances. They're plus 5 there. Inside 50s, Fremantle 13-9. Some of the individual ball winners, Sam Walsh with 12, De Koning with 8, Cripps with 8 for Fremantle, Sarong with 9, then Pearce 6, Switkowski with 6 as well. Carlton lead by 4 points at the first change.
Let's head downstairs. Akash Fodadar's got something for us. Akash?
Yeah, thanks, Clint. Both Harry Mackay and Mark Pitnet have emerged from the rooms with strapping on their knees. Mark Pitnet is heading back to the bench, his left knee heavily strapped, but Harry Mackay is jogging out into the Carlton forward line right now with some strapping on his right knee.
They have been in the wars a little bit, the Blues bigs, in terms of making changes too. Pitnet downstairs being spoken to. We can spot from our broadcast position Michael Voss has still got a bit to say to him. If they had to make that change, bringing Boyd in, they'd be losing 20 centimetres and about 24 kilos in regards to a player. The medical sub activated now, as we can see. Officially, Boyd on Pitnet has been ruled out, so that is a big change. Boyd surging his way around the ground.
Well, Clint, that injury just there, that Michael Gardner from the Eagles and St Kilda, it kind of ruined his career from exactly that, from that ruck. Not getting on the knee. It's quite a nasty injury.
Yeah, the knee-to-knee collision. I hope he's okay.
110 kilos jumping straight into you. Not much fun.
Oh, no. So De Koning now with a big task ahead of him. He's got Darcy, Freo's best and fairest from last year, across the centre circles. De Koning won it down beautifully. Went to Cripps. Mundy got in the way, though. Spilled out to Brodie. Kicks Fremantle inside forward 50. Taberner in front position. Couldn't mark. Collier's out after it. Pitnet comes the other way. Scooped it up beautifully and gave it to Wiedering. No surprise where it's gone at left half back. That's Chera marking. He plays on. Looking to come to the outer side. Chance to move it forward again. They come through Hewitt. Boyd was the player involved, so straight into the action. Hewitt kicks into the left forward pocket. Umpire spots a free kick. It's going Carlton's way. over the shoulder, and Mackay, who is back out there, has been awarded the free kick.
Yeah, that was just a bit of desperation.
Was there a lot in that? Just had the left hand on the left shoulder?
He had the left hand on the left shoulder. It was, Mackay, dangerous figure, and he was under pressure. Draws a free kick.
So Mackay will put boot to ball about 5 metres in from the boundary. He sends it on its way from 35 metres out, and he kicks the goal. That's a great start for the Blues. Finishing superbly, Harry Mackay. Carlton have got their third. They're out to a 10-point advantage here in the opening 75 seconds of the second quarter. 3-2-20 for the Dockers, 1-4-10.
Lovely kick. Obviously, a little tug on the shoulder. I think almost Cox needed to boost himself up to spoil that. But you can tell Fremantle get the centre clearance. It's a hat kick forward. No forward 50 pressure. Carlton get down the other end and have a shot on goal. And lovely kick, isn't he, Harry?
Yeah, I reckon
Beautiful
he's Batman.
in front of goal.
He's definitely Batman. He's got to be Batman.
I love this story from his mum on the ABC last year that he and Ben are mirror image twins, which means one's left-handed and left-footed, one's right-handed and right-footed, and one plays forward, one plays back. It's bizarre. Out of the middle go Carlton. The Koning going after it. Darcy picks it up. Handball to Mundy. Brayshaw sends the Dockers to the southern wing. Tucker able to mark about 60 from home. Looks into the pocket, trying to get it towards Lobb. Wiedering there to fist it away. Straight down to Doherty, who whacks it out of the D50 for the Blues. Back towards Tucker, can't take the mark. Boyd straight into the action. Cottrell gets a handball away. Just a handball, goes back to Fisher. Back to Chera, who kicks the Blues towards the wing. Nice mark taken by Logue. He intercepts it for the Dockers.
So Logue, the inboard pass to Brayshaw. Dangerous kick. Clark had to charge towards it. It was perfectly weighted in the end. He got there just in time up against Cripps. Hands it off to Brayshaw again. Kicks towards full forward. Ball's allowed to bounce. Slipping over then. Parks just had to slap it away. Worked beautifully to Chera. Got it to Hewitt. Somehow got a kick away under real pressure. Taken then by Ryan. Was tackled immediately. Wrapped up by Boyd. Blues with a chance now through Martin at left half back. Forced to backtrack, kicks back inside his defensive 50. It was precise to Doherty, who heads back again and waiting underneath it. An opportunity to set up once more. Newman beyond defensive 50, looking for the direction of Williams. Great mark, Akers takes it from Fremantle. Left half forward, moves it again to Walters. Pops it into the left forward pocket. He wanted Lobb, couldn't get there, got a fist to it though. Made sure Newman couldn't mark and sees it over the boundary line for a neutral ball. 40 out from Fremantle's attacking goal. They're heading to the Farmer Freeway end, the left of our broadcast position. In this term, they trail by 10 points, 4 minutes gone in the second.
So Darcy into Koning. They go for a little waltz. Darcy knocks it down, going after it Brayshaw. Right there to pick it up, Newman. Handball away towards Nunes, who's tackled heavily by Walters. He drags him close to the line, eventually out. And a throw in. A little bit of extra venom in that tackle from Walters. Maybe a little bit of retribution for the kick after the siren from Jack Nunes. Last time we were here between these two teams.
What a kick it was too.
Another forward 50 stoppage for the Dockers. Darcy a backhand down towards Brayshaw. Slick hands to Brodie. Brodie snaps and puts it through. Fremantle second. Comes through fantastic stoppage work. And it's back to 4 points. Fremantle 2-4-16. Carlton 3-2-20. Just under 5 minutes travelled second term. Grandstand AFL. Clint Wilden, myself, Ben Cameron, Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Great score from stoppage there. And again, if that's going to work for Freo, when it comes in high and long and the big tall forwards can't mark the ball, then create a spot stoppage and go from there. You know, forwards and midfield coach would be really happy with that goal. We always like to see the quick little small forwards or the mids kicking goals from stoppages.
Possibly the recruit of the year and his first goal in Fremantle colours.
It was just quick, clean hands. That's what it was. Don't fumble. Yeah, good finish. Good setup. Good finish.
Former top 10 draft pick with the Gold Coast Suns. 25 games there. Now been in great form for Fremantle this season as Chera brings the ball away after the De Koning tap. kicks inside forward 50, spills back to Lobb for the Dockers. To Walker, hand pass to Clark, goes beyond defensive 50. The kick in the direction of Schultz. Was he infringed by Newman? Umpire says no, it's still there to be won. Clark goes again, monstered to ground. Durden one side, Newman the other. Ball up the call, right half forward for Carlton. Blues by 4 points, 6 minutes gone in the second term. Coning against Darcy. Fingertips of Darcy, down towards Sarong. Couldn't take it cleanly, and then Pink for holding the ball. Had it just long enough, according to the officials. Hewitt will take the free kick. Puts the Blues inside forward 50. Cox got a fist to it. Curnow turns. Oh, the tap to he's clever. Bounce it towards goal. Looking for the grubber. In the road, though, playing the role of goalkeeper was Akers, who can knock it through for a rush behind. The Blues are 3-3-21. The Dockers 2-4-16. 7 gone in the second term. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Here's Ben Cameron.
So Ryan thumps it as long as he can in the Taberner direction. Wiedering able to spoil it down, but straight to Switkowski, who bursts through them. Gives the handball to O'Driscoll. Takes a bounce, about to be run down. Has to go with the handball away and was dealt with. So he'll get a free kick.
He's extremely lucky there. Lobb had about 5 or 6 metres on his opponent. Needed to just lace him and hit him up.
So Switkowski to take the free kick. Goes straight into the pocket and Schultz in space. He takes the mark. 40 metres out, 45-degree angle left-hand side.
Yeah, that was pretty poor manning up by Carlton. O'Driscoll was very, very lucky. And, there was, 30 seconds for Carlton to get back and fill those holes. And Schultz by himself in the pocket, 35, 40 metres out. Should go back and kick that. But, yeah, O'Driscoll was very, very lucky.
I've mentioned before, he's the barometer for Fremantle. When he kicks multiple goals, they're 13 and zip. Can he kick his first tonight and hand them their first lead of the evening? He can. Shooter puts them in front. The Dockers lead by a point. They're 3-4-22. Carlton 3-3-21. It's a 1 point advantage the way of the Dockers. Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Yeah, I love Schultz, the way he goes about it. I don't know how he got by himself and had so much time and space. I think Sard was his direct opponent and was just too late to the party. But fantastic, nice, really composed set shot there from Schultz. Loves, obviously, getting others involved, but it's nice that he can hit the scoreboard himself.
Yeah, he's nearly kicked a goal a game. I've just realised he's from Bendigo Pioneers, my old footy stomping ground back in the day, 30 years ago, Clint.
30 years ago, Brawny.
Yeah, no, not that old, no.
Came through with Clayton Oliver.
Yes.
And the bounce of the footy. Coney against Darcy. Spilled out in the direction of Brodie. The Dockers are away. The kick from Sarong towards full forward. Wanted Taberner. Couldn't mark, but it spills down Tucker. Tackled immediately by Hewitt. Oh, now, where is the prior then, I would say?
That's ridiculous.
He received the football. It was a great tackle. Hewitt absolutely wrapped him up. Tucker wasn't going anywhere, but I'm not sure there was any prior. The Blues, though, will have the free kick. They go beyond defensive 50 with it. Good battle on here at Ryan half back for them. Akers for the Dockers. Scoops it up. Couldn't get a hand pass away. Actually dropped it more than anything else. Taken then by Boyd. He manufactured a hand pass out the side. And then Setterfield kicks into an opponent in Walker and it spills away off hands and over for a boundary throw-in.
It feels like Fremantle have upped their pressure and their work around the contest.
No, definitely have. You can see there's been a little bit of a shift since quarter time.
Kicking efficiency in this term's gone up substantially too for Fremantle.
Darcy hooks it down to Sarong, who hooks across his body inside the attacking 50. In good position, Taberner might have been impeded. Umpire says no. Sard swoops onto the loose footy for the Blues and tucks it under his arm. Little 1-2 with Chera. Frederick got him. Causes the turnover. Spills to Sarong. Dribbles it inside 50. Oh, push in the back on the rundown tackle from Frederick. And that's what the Fremantle fans thought of that. Sard goes short, back to Wiedering. Fremantle lead by a point. 10 minutes and change into their second term.
No noise of affirmation tonight at the moment. 12-3 the free kicks to Carlton. As Young has it for them on the outer side and he goes short and he finds Owies. Kick their first of the evening, just shy of centre wing, southern side of Perth Stadium. Goes in the direction of Curnow. Low front position. Got a hand to it and saw it across. The spoil over the boundary line for a throw-in. Great battle on at the moment. They've played in a couple of thrillers of late at this ground, these two clubs. Darcy front position, won it down to Sarong for the Dockers. Kick from O'Driscoll towards right half forward. Taberner thought he'd marked it, just dropped it. Switkowski picked it up, back to Taberner. That's a clever kick around the body, not far enough to be a mark to Tucker, but he's able to get free of his opponents and he finds Clark in the centre square.
So Clark just assesses for the time being. Now looks into the pocket towards Taberner. He's got good position. Williams does well. In front, fists it away. A throw in 40 metres around from the Dockers' goal.
Taberner's got to work a little bit harder for mine. He's only had the one mark, 4 disposals. I think he needs to be chasing and tackling and presenting second, third efforts.
So Darcy into Koning again. Darcy to the front, slaps it boundary side. Switkowski buzzing after it, emerges with the footy, wants to go with the check side, and misses a little narrow. It would have been special. He feigned to zig, then zagged and shook his man. Almost went with the check side from the pocket, but couldn't quite. Fremantle double their advantage. They lead by 2 points, 12 minutes into the second.
Blues precise as they look to work it from beyond the defensive 50. Young to Saad. And now to Fisher. He goes short again to Parks. Sam Walsh has had 13 touches, Sarong 12. 2 leading possession winners on the ground. So the Blues go back through Young to Wiedering. The kick he really wanted in the direction of Doherty. Has to try and get around O'Driscoll. He gathered, was knocked out of his hands. Calling for an incorrect disposal, the Dockers fans. They won't get it. It's across the boundary line for a throw-in instead. Just shy of right half forward for Fremantle.
You see some of those get called, don't you?
You do. Not on this occasion. Darcy won the tap. Umpires spotted a free kick. It's going Carlton's way. The locals are restless, as they would be. Now, 13 free kicks to 3, for whatever that is worth, but certainly the Dockers fans are aware of it. Cripps got the free kick, and he moves it short to Walsh. Still on the southern wing here at Perth Stadium. Freo lead by 2 points. 13 gone in the second term on Grandstand AFL.
This young star drives it as long as he can towards a big pack. Logue at the back, fists it down. Mundy onto the footy. Kicks it into the backside of O'Driscoll. Ricochets away. Oh, he's onto it. Handball errant. Logue picks up the footy. Little fend off on Cripps. Handball away to Tucker. Dockers back the other way. Mundy steps infield. Goes on the left. Good kick. Gets to Switkowski. Can't quite mark it. Now Owi's back onto it for the Blues. And he goes short to Boyd, who stabs a pass towards half forward. Unable to mark there is Nunes. Now the Dockers back with it. Frederick got a handball away, was taken high. They'll take the advantage. Here goes Akers.
Akers, hand passed over the shoulder. Inventive, worked out okay. Collier stabs the pass forward. Here's O'Driscoll. Right beneath our broadcast position on the northern wing. Kick short again to Clark. Clark assesses the options. He puts it long. He wants Darcy! And he finds him. 2 grabs and he takes the mark. He's at left full forward. He's no more than 20 from goal. But he is on a tightish angle, slightly worse than 45 degrees to the left.
A much better forward 50 entry there, wasn't it? You could see Sean Darcy had him for height. Great use of the body. Clean hands. And he can go back and put one through for the Dockers.
So Darcy starts the approach, should kick it, and does. Stretches Fremantle's lead. Outlook for them is a game high. They're out by 8 points. 4-5-29 to Carlton 3-3-21. Good effort from Sean Darcy. Fremantle dominating the marks inside 50 at the moment, 5-1. We travelled 15 minutes into the second term.
Well, if you have an advantage in your forward 50, you've got to go to it all the time. Now, Young's no small feat either. You know, he's 200 centimetres tall, but I think it's just the weight factor. You know, Darcy was just too big, too strong, and they put it to advantage side. So get it in one-on-one to your tall targets, and they kick goals for you. Quick ball movement.
Takes a lot of marks Sean Darcy. He's fast become a very, very good player in this competition. Fremantle with the last 3 goals. Back in the middle. De Koning wins the ruck tap. Brodie onto the footy. Handball knocked away. Cripps swoops on the footy for the Blues. Handball behind Hewitt. Cripps gets it again. Bursts out of the middle. Handball to Walsh. 45 out. He tugs it left and misses to the left-hand side. Behind. It was bullocking. Centre clearance work from Cripps. Carlton without the desired result. The lead cut to 7 points. Fremantle 4-5, Carlton 3-4, 16 played second.
Brennan Cox with the kicking duties beyond defensive 50. Lob went up, couldn't mark. Hewitt over the top of it. Schultz applies some pressure. Still there to be won. Umpire says, free kick to Fremantle. Taken high with Schultz. Give Bronx cheers around the ground. Fremantle with a chance to come forward. Brayshaw to Akers, marking on centre wing. Akers pauses. Short up the line if he wanted to Walters. That's ignored. Instead, he'll send it high in the air towards left half forward. De Koning had front position. Umpire spotted a free kick being held through all that was Taberner. Matt Taberner at left half forward. Free kick starting to balance out a bit more. 13-6 Carlton's way. Taberner waits. His team leads by 7 points and he goes short and somehow Schultz is all on his own again and he marks uncontested. Has someone fallen over? Has he just got away from Saad? How did that happen?
It looked like they were almost setting a zone in the defensive 50 and no one actually marked up on him or Walters.
I think they were the zone, but then I think Saad did fall over, but Schultz kicking probably from the same position he was 5 minutes ago.
So Schultz already with one. We're right behind this. He's got 2. Fremantle starting to take control. The Dockers lead is out to 13 points. 5-5-35 to Carlton 3-4-22. 2 great finishes by Lockie Schultz. We've gone 18 minutes in the second term on Grandstand AFL.
Well, I don't mind Taberner coming all up the ground. If he's not finding the footy down there, at least he's working hard up the ground. But if he's working hard up the ground, he needs to work hard back down the ground. So I think he's starting to get back in the game, which is fantastic. And he didn't blaze away. He kept his cool. He could have just kicked it to the top of the goal square. He waited. He was patient. And they got the desired result. Well done, Taberner.
And I say this as I hop on one leg and touch wood, but
here it is.
13 and zip. Every other time that Lockie Schultz has kicked multiple goals in a game, the Dockers.
Didn't want to steal your stat, Betty.
Lob out of the middle, slaps it forward. Could have been a free kick on Switkowski. Walsh onto the footy at halfback. Snaps it towards the wing. As Walker comes through, soccers it forward out towards the boundary line. Carlton fans are happy with me. Every Fremantle fan in the ground and around the place are saying, don't say that.
Like trying to drag the Titanic.
Yeah.
Throwing back in again. Lob front position. Got a hand on it down to Tucker. Kicks Fremantle inside forward 50. Walters was there. Couldn't mark. Saad got a hand pass away to Newman, to Hewitt. Back to Newman. Under pressure. Just worked it out towards Walsh. Now working it quickly again. They've done pretty well here, Carlton. They found themselves in strife, but Nunes was able to work it on again. And the hands now of Durden. Goes running down the line. Kicks towards right half forward. Stretching out there to try to gather Curnow. Couldn't on his knees. Hand pass backwards. Tucker for the Dockers to Walker to Aish. That's a lovely kick in the middle of the ground. Oh, Collier, he stepped off his line. Almost tackled by Saad. He broke free somehow and he found Tucker, who continues on centre wing southern side.
Overshoots Schultz with his kick. There to mop up his Wiedering. Handball towards Doherty, who misses his target. Overshooting it, it tumbles out. And it'll be thrown in. It was a skill error from Doherty. Went straight over the head of Jack Nunes and dribbled out. A throw in between wing and left half forward for the Dockers. They've kicked the last 4 majors. Short throw in. Bringing it down. Setterfield in front. Straight to Cripps, who kicks it out of bounds on the full. So Fremantle to get it back. Just the defensive side of halfway on this northern wing. They lead by 13 points, 5-5-35, plays 3-4-22. Time on in this second term on Grandstand AFL.
Ryan moves it inboard to Brodie. Just forward of left half back for Fremantle. He kicks the Dockers down the commentary wing to Chera. Chera stabs the pass short to Hewitt. They're still at right half back here, the Blues. Chera turns, sends it back inside his defensive 50 to Newman, who gets told to play on. Will go all the way back to Wiedering, the furthest player back for the Blues. Spot Young beyond defensive 50 at left half back and move it again forward to Fisher. He's about a metre in from the boundary. Still at left half back for Carlton. And they trail by 13, 22 gone in the second term. Blues going backwards once more. Young forced to backtrack inside his defensive 50. A switch of play to Nunes, marking on the 50. Carlton's defensive 50 at right half back. Big lead up the line from Curnow. Couldn't mark. The spoil came from low behind. The locals like it. They're becoming involved here, the Fremantle crowd. Their team is up 5-5-35 to 3-4-22 over the Blues. 22 gone, second term. Grandstand AFL, Clint Wilden alongside Ben Cameron in commentary.
Two athletes there. Logan Curnow as lob. Backhand down to Brodie for the Dockers. Handball to Sarong. Sweeps a handball to Brayshaw, who tries to get away from Cripps. Then delivers a good handball to Wakers. Slips over. Has to handball away towards Sarong. Nicely gathered. Handball out to Walker. Tries to break the tackle. Just gets it on the boot. Falls to Schultz for his third. He's missed it. Just snaps it a little too much. Misses to the left-hand side. Fremantle 5-6-36. Carlton 3-4-22. 22 and a half minutes played in the second.
A little bit of afters a moment ago from Paddy Cripps and Andrew Brayshaw. Just a few pleasantries exchanged. As the Blues through Wiedering beyond defensive 50 with a kick from full back. No mark taken at right half back, but it's been kept in play by Curnow, and then Boyd couldn't quite get to it. Oh, it's come off his boot. And it's out of bounds on the full. That would be frustration for Carlton. And opposite 37 there is Lobb. He takes the free kick, puts it back inside attacking 50. Parks was up, got a hand on it. Came down again to Young. Out towards Hewitt, now to Cripps. Got the arms free. Might have been tackled and dispossessed by O'Driscoll. Umpire says no play on anyway. Switkowski has it for the Dockers. To Walters. Hand pass towards the hot spot. Trying to work it forward here. And Schultz, he was underneath that, had the ball wrenched away by Hewitt, and the umpire in the meantime said no, we'll ball it up. Pretty much in front of the left hand behind post, about 40 out from goal. Inside Freo's attacking 50. Lob had it, tried to get a hand pass away, intercepted by Chera. Hand passed over the shoulder, went back and got it again. Tackled by Walters. That's holding the ball. Now, Michael Walters has been terrific recently in every aspect of the craft apart from kicking at goal. This is a moment for him to shake off those nerves. He'll go back and have a shot from 35 metres out. It's a 45-degree angle to the left. Normally, you would back him every time. He takes a deep breath, steadies the nerves. Walters runs in. He kicks another one for Freo. They have kicked 5 unanswered goals. And you can see the joy and the relief for Walters as his teammates come towards him. And they celebrate as one the purple. 6-6-42 Fremantle. Carlton 3-4-22. All of a sudden it's a 20-point lead to the home team. We've travelled 25 minutes in the second term.
Well, he's been quiet tonight, Michael Walters. He's only had the 3 touches, but he's had 3 tackles, and he was obviously rewarded with that on Chera. I think the crowd were pretty happy with it, and the boys were too. But it's no word of a lie. He's been out of form, and it was nice to see all the boys get around him.
Yeah, it was like they knew.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon there must be something going on, that he's down on confidence. Great to see the Fremantle players get around him.
He was able to apply last week a heap of pressure, but you could tell he didn't want to have a shot on goal. I think that'll be a big moment for him.
Goalless in his last 2. He ends that streak. Chera out of the middle for the Blues. Gives it off to Hewitt. Looks inside 50, kicks as long as he can towards full forward. Mackay in good position, can't mark, falls to Martin, snaps, goals, ends the bleeding. Martin delivers right when Carlton need it. Fremantle had kicked 5 unanswered goals. Carlton's fourth, they're 4-4-28. Fremantle 6-6-42. It's back to 14 points, 25 minutes into the second. Carl Antonio and Michael Braun.
Well, I liked Martin. I think it was just 2 or 3 Dockers flew and Martin stayed on the ground. It is a curse, and backline coach will hate that. The fact is that he had 2 or 3 people flying and a small crumbing forward kick. So he's not small, but he's a very good player. But crumbing forward, stay on the ground, easy crumb and goal.
Lovely finish. Just fell to him. Didn't even take a step. Threw the right boot at it. As Ben said, did stem the bleeding. Darcy wins it down. It's straight to Cherry. Might have been taken high. He was. The Blues will take the advantage. De Koning running away with the football. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Oh, here he is again. Martin taking the mark in front of Walker. Could he go back and kick 2 goals in a matter of a minute?
Well, that's what happens when you can get clear centre clearances. It's very hard to defend and it's very hard to get double teamed in the air. But that was a really strong mark. I'm quite impressed with that. I don't even think Brandon Walker went up. Yep. Try and contest that.
Martin's a very good overhead mark. Yep, at the Suns he was very good.
Strong's worked his opponent out with it, stuck the arms high above the head, dragging the football from 47 metres out. He's missed to the left-hand side. The Blues could well have done with that. It would have brought them right back into the context. 6-6-42, the Dockers. 4-5-29, Carlton. 28 gone in the second.
2 balls on the ground, so Luke Ryan retrieves it. Now plays on. Kicks long in the Cox direction. Akers does well to hold out Nunes, and Cox glides in and marks. Now kicks forward towards the wing. Walters in some space. Forward handball to Brodie. Brodie moves it on quickly to Darcy. Well worked from the Dockers into the pocket. Looking for lob. Just overshoots him. And at the back, a nice mark from Lewis Young in the right back pocket.
Great build-up. Deserved to hit Darcy then. Or lob, was it? Yep.
So Lewis Young, the former Dog, kicks towards the wing. Over the head of Mackay at the back. Ashon to the loose footy for Freo. Hooks it back inside 50. Walters in good position. Hands to it. It falls to him again. Dribbles it through. Welcome back, Sun. Pure class from the pocket. Fremantle respond. They're 7-6-48. Carlton 4-5-29. A 19-point advantage, closing in on half-time.
Well, in previous weeks, I feel like he's front and centre, Sonny. He's almost got caught in the contest, whereas tonight, we've seen on a couple of occasions, perfect front and centre, is in the right place at the right time, and don't know if I would have gone the dribble kick from that far out, but it worked for him.
Yeah, with football, it's 90% of it up in your brain, isn't it? Confidence goes things, but if you're working hard and continue on, know what you're doing is your craft, it will come. It's just, you don't lose your ability over a few games, a few rounds. You lose confidence and that can come and go as quickly.
There was never a doubt with his class in front of goal, and the confidence is now back as well. One down by Darcy. Shearer dives on it. He's been tackled. Umpire will say, holding the ball. Making enough of an effort to get rid of it, obviously. Didn't have a lot of prior. Well done, David Mundy. Good tackle from the Dockers veteran. Goes on a bit of a run, Mundy. Kicks inside the attacking 50. They fly from everywhere. Spill down out the back. Wiedering was there for the Blues. Tumbles a kick to the outer side of the ground. Curnow marks. Has it at left half back. Has the pause to allow players to stream ahead. He'll kick long. It's a perfectly weighted kick. Oh, he couldn't quite take it. The pressure came from Walker. Clark goes in as well. They hold it into him. The umpire says, holding the ball. Not enough of an effort to get rid of it. He dropped it from the pressure that was applied by Walker. And then the free kick paid to Fremantle. Clark going back inside his defensive 50 to Ryan. He goes up the corridor to Cox, who marks for the Dockers. Fremantle in front. They lead by 19 points. 30 minutes gone in the second.
Cox towards the wing, and Brayshaw, the man leading the AFLPA, or the coaches' votes, goes back inside his D50 to Cox, who moves it to Ryan. Moves it on by foot to Clark on the southern wing. A bit of mark on his chest. Fremantle a little more deliberate in their build-up here. On the southern wing, Clark kicks as long as he can, looking for Darcy. Can't take the mark. Walsh roves to the Blues. Handball to Doherty. Handball to Newman. Short kick to Williams. 40 out from his defensive goal. He wants to bring it towards the northern side of the ground, and he can find Cottrell.
Cottrell, second game of the year for him. 21st of his career as he turns back. Decides to send it to Wiedering. Skipper marks it. Twirls the Sherrin over in his left hand and goes on a short run now. Kicks beyond defensive 50. Wanted Martin as well as Mackay. Surrounded by Dockers. They couldn't get hands on it. Spills down and over the boundary line. It's a throw-in. If you just joined us, the Blues missing one of their keys. Ruckman Pitnet being subbed out. Medical sub Jordan Boyd comes into the game. It's a knee injury. It's cause and effect for Pitnet. As Walsh has it, kicks towards right half forward for the Blues. Ryan flew, couldn't quite mark. It's on the deck, trying to shovel it out. Brayshaw over the top. Clever hand pass meant for Clark. Dropped it, swung a boot at it, worked it onto Walker. Quick hand pass to Sarong, then to Brodie. Tackled by Walsh. Somehow worked it out to Switkowski. Well done, Fremantle. And then a kick down inside forward 50 off the boot of Clark. As the siren sounds as Doherty marks. Fremantle trailed by 4 points at quarter time. And then they kick 5 unanswered goals and 6 for the term. The Blues adding 2 majors of their own, with Fremantle at the main break leading now by 19 points. 7-6-48 to 4-5-29. The goal kickers for the Dockers, Michael Walters has 2. Lockie Schultz with 2 as well. Singles to Darcy, Brodie and to Lobb. While for Carlton, their goal kickers, Jack Martin with 1. Harry Mackay with 1, Charlie Curnow with 1, and their opening goal kicker of the night, Matthew Owies, with 1 as well. Half time, Fremantle 7-6-48 to Carlton 4-5-29. What have our experts made of things? Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital tonight. All-Australian Cara Antonio and Premiership player Michael Braun.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a tale of 2 quarters, or it has been a tale of 2 quarters. I thought Carlton really had the momentum and had the game plan that needed to probably win the game in the first quarter, but Fremantle came out after half-time. I thought their midfield connection was much better than the first quarter. They were able to be a little bit more composed going inside forward 50, and the plus 17 with inside 50s. The other one for me is the marks inside forward 50. They've had 6 and Carlton have only had the 2. So that for me was a difference in that quarter. I thought Fremantle set up defensively in their zone. Was really hard for Carlton to work their way out. And, you know, Carlton are the number 1 team for disposals in the competition, which, again, they've had a little bit more than the ball than Fremantle, but they weren't able to work their way through the zone. So it was set up really, really well defensively from Fremantle. But, yeah, again, who knows what's going to happen after half-time. I think Carlton will definitely regroup, and although in past games, and it was noted by Vossi during the week, that they've struggled after half-time, and again, being behind, you'd think that they would come out with a bit of a fire in the belly, and we'll see a little bit of a different Carlton than what we had from previous weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think they've got to come out. They've got to do something different at half-time if their second half's always poor. So obviously they're not getting warmed up, or, you know, they're slow to start. I'm not too sure, but they've got to address that quick, smart. But Mackay and Curnow, they've had 1 touch and 3 touch. Kernow's had 3 and Mackay's had 1. That's why there's no marks inside their forward 50. They're not getting the supply. They were doing it in the first quarter, but obviously Fremantle started to absorb Carlton's pressure and then started to apply their own pressure, and they were tackling in numbers, they were hunting the ball, and most importantly they were spreading from the contest, which was making it hard for the Blues to be able to put pressure on the ball carrier to get the ball inside forward 50 for Fremantle. So it's been an outstanding game. I said it's been quite entertaining. Yes, there's been some mistakes. Fremantle is really starting to now make better decisions. Schultz, I'm a bit of a fan for his now, not only because he played for the Pioneers, Clint, but the fact is that he's clean, he's fast. And I agree. I think he's the barometer. I'm going to pay a bit more attention to him. He's a great little player, and I think he's having a good game. But for mine, the scary thing for Fremantle is they're having troubles in their second half, so they will be addressing that right now. B, their two big key forwards haven't had a bit of an impact on the game. So if Ryan and co down back for Fremantle can continue on that form in the second or the third quarter, I should say, Fremantle are going to go a long way to win this game of football.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall with Vossi chatting to the Blues at half-time, because you're right, they haven't had the impact that their forward coach and Vossi would have wanted with Mackay and Curnow. Obviously, Mackay probably, a little bit ginger with his knee, the knee injury, but he's been able to hit the scoreboard with one. But yeah, again, like I look at the stats, Carlton are pretty much winning every single stat, even the tackles. They're plus 16 in tackles, but watching the game without the stats, I wouldn't have thought that Carlton's pressure is any more than Fremantle's. I think Fremantle have been good, the one percenters that they've been really, really good at. Carlton are probably maybe over-possessing the footy and just not making the most of having ball in hand.
What do you think about Walters? I'm interested about this because I was very surprised that pretty much the whole team was in their forward 50 when he kicked that goal, set shot. So I think during the game when you kick a goal on the ground like that's what he does. That's his craft. But when you think about it and go back to set shot, that's when forwards get the yip. So I reckon there's a bit more to that there. I reckon the players know it. They got around him. And because I saw the whole back 5 or 6 for Fremantle run all the way back down to their inside their defensive 50.
Well, there were two occasions last week when once he had it, I think it was about 40 metres out on a slight angle, and he elected to pass. And I was watching on the television and thought, that's not Michael Walters.
Yeah, he would never pass like that, would he?
Never in a million years. So obviously there's a confidence issue. And then he was forced less than 5 minutes later, because he was only 30 metres out, he was forced to take the shot and missed badly to the left. He's a great goal kicker, and he'd done a lot of good work, and I would say he actually had provided pressure around the ground. We'd seen in a couple of weeks here, games here in Perth, he'd almost been looking for free kicks because he'd been getting frustrated that things weren't going his way, and there were questions, and rightly so, asked about where he's at to the coach, Justin Longmuir, during the week, who said, look, we're going to back him. We know how good he is. We think he's been doing a lot right, but we know that he needs to improve in front of goal. Well, tonight he had that opportunity and he delivered it. And I don't know if there's anything else to it, but I reckon his teammates knew it was playing on his mind and they wanted to let him know, mate, we're right with you. We know how good you are. We're going to back you. And then a few minutes later, he had the opportunity to do something ridiculous and kick the grubber along the ground.
And because I think we got a call in from a listener a few weeks back about, would you... I can't remember what it was. There's something about, I reckon he's faking the free kicks or whatever. So,
well, there was a question about if you could remove... If you said to him, you will never be paid another free kick in your career, do you think he'll be playing better?
So, and I think he's been under the pump from the coaches, and they're giving him another chance to, I think that when you've got no confidence, you don't work hard, and then you start to dive for free kicks and try and do the easy things instead of, when you're working hard, you're not thinking about kicking goals, you're just working hard, and then when you're working hard, that confidence comes back. And I think he probably wasn't working as hard as he has been in the past when he's up and going, and the last couple of weeks he's probably turned the corner and said, hey, if I'm not getting a kick, what else can I do? I can chase, I can tackle, I can put forward line pressure. You don't need to get, 10 touches and kick 4 goals. If you can create 3 or 4 goals, well, that's your job too. It's not all about the goals.
Let's pause here at Perth Stadium. Great game so far. If you'd like to get in touch with us too and ask a question, we haven't had too many opportunities to do that tonight. 0437 774 774 is our text message line. We'll run through some of those in just a moment. Fremantle leading 7-6-48 to Carlton 4-5-29. Right now, though, let's pause and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. Labor frontbencher Tanya Plibersek accusing the federal government of neglecting its relationship with its Pacific neighbours after the Solomon Islands signed a new security pact with China. Labor says the deal's a foreign policy failure by the federal government and has criticised it for not sending the Foreign Minister Maurice Payne to the Pacific Island nation. Ms Plibersek says the deals come on top of years of neglect by the coalition.
And this is a really serious strategic threat. This comes on top of almost a decade of this government neglecting relations with our Pacific neighbours. They've cut the aid budget, to the Solomon Islands.
Ukraine will make yet another attempt to get up to 100,000 trapped civilians out of the heavily besieged southern port city of Mariupol. Larry Buttrose has the details.
There have been attempts to broker humanitarian corridors out of the key port for weeks, often with little or no success amid renewed fighting. The city's mayor says 20,000 civilians are dead and accuses Russia of deliberately stopping the escape of citizens. He's accusing the Russians of more war crimes. Ukraine is now hoping the UN can help get civilians out of Mariupol, with Secretary-General Antonio Guterres due to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin for talks on Tuesday.
Ukrainian MP Vadim Mihalchuk says he's disappointed the humanitarian effort aid agencies have mounted so far for the people of Mariupol.
Now we are trying very hard to persuade the leadership in the UN to take a more active role.
WA's Deputy Premier has sent his best wishes to the Premier's family after Mark McGowan's COVID-positive child was admitted to hospital in a serious condition. Mr McGowan tested positive for the virus on the same day his child was admitted to hospital. The child's fully vaccinated and is receiving ongoing treatment. Roger Cook says he's been in contact with the Premier.
My understanding is that the Premier's child is still in hospital with an infection, but we ask everyone to respect their privacy and we wish them all the very best as they go through this difficult phase.
There are fears the combination of the Easter break, Anzac Day long weekend and the Tamworth Country Music Festival could become super spreader COVID events in New South Wales. Professor Jenny May from the University of Newcastle's Department of Rural Health says the dropping of isolation rules for close contacts could make matters worse.
Easter and country music and Anzac Day are very likely to cause a very large uptick in figures, certainly in our area and for the visitors that are with us now. I don't know whether regional communities are a bit slower to some of these trends. Certainly we're seeing high numbers of COVID patients anecdotally.
A Chinese state-funded task force is calling for more action to improve air quality in Chinese cities despite some big gains being made. It says despite having pollutants in recent years, problems persist with air quality with ongoing impacts for public health. The panel's urging more action on green energy and extra controls on industry and transport. The governor of the U.S. state of Florida has signed a bill that strips the Walt Disney Company of self-governing authority at its Orlando area parks. The move is in retaliation to Disney's opposition to a new law that limits the teaching of LGBTQ issues in schools. The Republican-controlled legislature approved the bill to revoke the special governing jurisdiction that's allowed the company to operate Walt Disney World Resort as its own city. A group of campers are stranded in a rainforest in a remote part of far north Queensland as heavy rain lashes the region. Cookshire Disaster Management says 11 people became trapped a week ago at Cape York near Wenlock River. They made contact with rangers yesterday after running out of food, with locals today delivering them 3 more days of supplies by helicopter. Cookshire Disaster Management Coordinator Narl Dukes says the group is safe but warns they may be waiting the weather out for some time.
Just keeping the network open and discussing things and keeping a very close eye on the weather because it's still been raining quite heavily up there. So we're hoping that the weather will ease enough that we can get them back to Lockhart River.
And a 39-year-old Queensland woman's been charged with attempted murder and serious animal cruelty after an alleged attack west of Brisbane. Police allege the woman stabbed a 50-year-old man in the neck and killed his cat at his home at Grantham yesterday. It's understood the pair were known to each other. The man's in a stable condition in a Brisbane hospital, and the woman will appear in court on Tuesday. ABC News. Get more news from our website at abc.net.au/news.
Did you know that ABC Listen has a little sibling?
Hi.
The ABC Kids Listen app with music to move and podcasts to play. ABC Kids Listen stimulates curiosity, fires imaginations, and fosters good listening skills.
Wow! That's a funny noise.
Discover a world of entertainment that will spark creativity in the minds of your little ones and get them up and moving. Download ABC Kids Listen today, free from your app store.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season. Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Darcy at backhand down towards Brayshaw. Slick hands to Brodie. Brodie snaps and puts it through. Fremantle second. Comes through. Fantastic stoppage work. So Switkowski to take the free kick. Goes straight into the pocket. And Schultz in space. He takes the mark. Can he kick his first tonight and hand them their first lead of the evening? He can. Shooter puts them in front.
Clark assesses the options. He puts it long. He wants Darcy! And he finds him. Two grabs and he takes the mark. Starts the approach. Should kick it and does. Stretches Fremantle's lead. Going to get a hand pass away. Intercepted by Chera. Hand passed over the shoulder. Went back and got it again. Tackled by Walters. That's holding the ball. This is a moment for him to shake off those nerves. He takes a deep breath. Walters runs in. He kicks another one for Freo. They have picked 5 unanswered goals.
Chera out of the middle for the Blues. Gives it off to Hewitt. Looks inside 50. Kicks as long as he can towards full forward. Mackay in good position. Can't mark. Falls to Martin. Snaps. Goals. Ends the bleeding. Hooks it back inside 50. Walters in good position. Hands to it. It falls to him again. Dribbles it through. Welcome back, Sun. Pure class from the pocket.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Good day for our South Australian teams. Earlier on Saturday, the Crows by a point in a thriller over the Western Bulldogs in Ballarat, 8-15-63. So the Bulldogs 9-8-62. And then Port, well, it wasn't quite as close. They belted West Coast by 84 points to register their first win of the season, 18-9, 117 to the Eagles. Their lowest ever score against Port Adelaide, 4-9-33 at Adelaide Oval. A couple of WAFL scores to let you know about. South Fremantle beat the Eagles Waffle side by 76 points. East Freo, too good for Swan Districts by 9. And Claremont beat Subiaco by 15 points with Zach Mainwaring, the son of the late Eagles great Chris Mainwaring, making his league debut for Claremont. Big news in the NBL, particularly if you're in the West. The Jack Jumpers have beaten Melbourne United 83-61, which means the Wildcats, if they are to continue their 35-year consecutive streak of playing in finals, must beat Southeast Melbourne tomorrow. And if you're listening around WA, you'll hear that game with Ben Cameron and championship-winning coach Alan Black from 3:30. The Wildcats against Southeast Melbourne. Win and they're in, lose. And the longest streak in Australian sport for making finals will come to an end. Speaking of Ben Cameron, here he is with some of the numbers. Ben.
Yeah, the interesting numbers. Fremantle dominating in terms of the inside 50s, 32-15 at the half. Contested possessions, +7. Carlton, 71-64. They're out-tackling Fremantle as well, 38-22. They've won more of the football as well, +24 in terms of the disposals. Leading ball winners, Sam Walsh, he gets so much of it, 20 disposals. Chera, 17 times he's been booed in that opening half. And Caleb Sarong with 15 and Brayshaw 13, Will Brodie with 13. Did notice in that first half as well, Will Brodie, a bit of extra strapping on his left quad, so a little nick there. Doesn't seem like a major issue, but just something to keep an eye on.
Carlton fans should think this way. They've twice in recent games against Fremantle found themselves well behind here and have come back with Mark Murphy putting them in front with 34 seconds to play in 2019 to win the game. and it took a Jack Nunes kick after the siren for them to win in 2020. But against that, if you like these sort of statistics, the Blues haven't won a third term in season 2022. Two sides desperate for finals action. As I said at the very start, the Dockers have missed the last 6 trips to the finals. The Blues missed the last 8 seasons playing in the end-of-year games. Will one of these sides finish that? And certainly if they can get away to a 5-1 start to this season, they would be in a prime position to do so. Blues, of course, if you've just joined us, have been forced to make a sub. They were forced to make it at half-time with Mark Pitnet subbed out with a knee injury, a knee clash in the ruck contest in the middle. So he's out. Forced to bring in a much smaller player in Jordan Boyd. So they're sacrificing about 20 centimetres. Certainly can't replace the ruckman, but De Koning has done a very solid job so far up against Darcy and Lobb. Blues in their white away jumper. They make their way to their respective position. The players head to the bench. So too for Fremantle. What do you expect to happen early stages in this second half, Cara Antonia, Michael Braun?
Well, the pressure from both sides, especially probably Carlton, needs to be up early. They need to stamp their authority inside and continue to win the centre clearances. They're 6 apiece at the moment, but we all know when you win centre clearances, clean ball out of the middle, and you can get it inside 50 quickly to provide your forwards with an opportunity to score, that's usually the team that ends up winning the game. So I'm really excited for this quarter. The tackle pressure overall will be higher from both sides, I would have thought.
Yeah, I agree. I think Carlton need to address their second half fade-outs. Fremantle need to continue on their good form into this, from the second quarter and get off to a good start. I just think it's a really neck-and-neck game, and it's still up in the air.
Can Carlton end their third-term Blues? Will the Dockers continue on their merry way? They lead by 19 points. Second half about to start on Grandstand AFL. Ben Cameron with you.
De Koning and Darcy. De Koning wins the tap down, going after it Brody. Walsh stockers it out towards the southern wing, tracking it out there O'Driscoll. Knocks it to Aish for the Dockers. Nice forward handball to Brody, has a little fumble. Time to recover, goes back by hand to Aish. Snaps around the corner, looking for Frederick. Oh, look out, Boyd coming the other way. Ball spills to Sarong, sweeps a handball to Collier, goes short for Lobb. Hands out in front, he takes the mark. 30 metres out, 45-degree angle to the left-hand side.
Well, courageous by Frederick to go back with the flight of the ball there on the wing, created the contest, but finally Taberner and or Lobb in this case has led to the foot of the kicker in Collier and has taken a really nice mark and will go back and have a set shot.
Kicked one from a very similar position, maybe slightly closer late in the first term. Boot to ball from 40. Lobb finishes and Fremantle start the second half beautifully. In second, Fremantle's 8th. They're 8-6-54, Carlton 4-5-29. It's 25 points the Fremantle lead early in the third. Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Well, each team needed to address what they wanted to work on in the third quarter. Fremantle wanted to get off a good start. That's exactly what they needed to do. Great bit of play, as you said. It was a great build-up. And yes, it is a delight to see that both the key forwards, Taberner and Lobb, going in opposite directions to split the Carlton defenders. Good finish, good mark. Yep, great start.
Great delivery as well towards Lobb. Fluoro yellow boots doing the job for him and for Fremantle from the restart. Darcy stayed down. De Koning went up. Darcy won it down and then sockers it forward. Fredericks couldn't quite control it. It spilled out to Hewitt for the Blues. Kicks to the outer side. Cottrell leading backwards takes the mark. The inboard kick is to Boyd, the substitute. On for Pitnet. Sends it back into the middle of the ground. Sard waits. He marks. Pauses for players to run and sees the lead coming up the ground. This is Owies. Kicked the opening goal of the game. Puts Carlton inside their forward 50. De Koning up against Darcy. Darcy won it down. It spilled though to Walsh. Hand pass to Fisher. Then to Doherty. Back again to Hewitt. Pops it short for the Blues. Leading up to it, Mackay. Up against Ryan. Couldn't mark. Well done, Ryan, against a much taller opponent. He won it down. It went to Aish for the Dockers. And then to O'Driscoll. Goes back to Logue, who marks it left full back. 2.5 gone in the third. It's Fremantle by 25 points on Grandstand AFL.
So Logue kicks as long as he can out towards the southern wing, looking for Lobb. Right there with him is Lewis. Now it comes down at ground level for Brodie. Handball back to Aish. Aish at left half back, wants to kick towards the wing, looking for Darcy. Lobb back with the flight. A big chest mark in the pack. He marks it alongside the logo on the southern side of the ground. So Lobb on the logo for the Dockers. Drives it low and long towards half forward. Wiedering puts his fist through it. Front and square Cottrell. Handball to Cripps. Handball to Lewis Young, who chips it towards Zach Williams. Here go the Blues through the middle of the ground. Look out. Hewitt almost run down by Frederick. Did enough. Put some pressure on the kick and getting back. Cox takes the defensive mark for the purple.
Cox kicks in the direction of Ryan. Runs onto the bouncing footy, gathers, turns, spots Schultz, who marks. Just forward of right half back. Brayshaw heads towards him from the centre square. Schultz ignores that and go down the line if he wants to. He's told to move it on. He will kick towards right half forward. Flying up, Sabiner. Bounce back to him as well. Broke away from Cripps. Hand pass was meant for Brodie. Nunes got in the way to Parks, to Hewitt for the Blues. On in turn to Sard, to Walsh. Bursting by Doherty. Kicks towards the outer side. Cottrell marks on the outer edge of the centre square. Beautifully done. Moves it on to Owies. In a bit of space. Runs the 50 out. Heads towards Curnow through his hands. It tumbles across the behind line for a minor score. Good movement from the Blues. Couldn't get the major they crave. 8-6-50 for the Dockers. 4-6-30 Carlton. 4.5 gone in the third.
So Ryan to bring it back in. Fremantle leading by 4 goals neat. Ryan short to Clark in the right back pocket. And well, with their recruiting last year, Fremantle, Jordan Clark and Will Brodie have fitted in seamlessly into this Fremantle unit. Kicks long towards the wing. Big leap from De Koning. Doesn't bring it down. Cripps roves the front of the pack. Sends Carlton back the other way. 1-2 with Fisher. Run down by Brayshaw. Cripps holding the ball. And Brayshaw gives him a little shove in the back for good measure. So Brayshaw wins it back at right half back for the Dockers.
Tabiner was down for some time. That marking contest before wore a knee from De Koning to the back of the head. Just the marking contest, but certainly did rattle him. He's okay now as Ryan goes beyond defensive 50. Marked by Darcy. Hands it on to Brodie. To Lobb, drops the mark, had time to regather though. Hands back to Brodie. Now with Akers, kicks Fremantle inside forward 50. Sard read it well. Floated across in front and takes the mark for the Blues.
Sard goes laterally to Doherty. He wants to come up the middle, spots the chest of Fisher, sweeps a handball forward for Williams, running through the middle of the ground, kicks long inside 50 for the Blues. Martin in good position, drops the chest mark, allows Logue in. Clark there to provide support, gets it off the Pierce, and the Dockers repel. He spots up Cox, who chips towards the wing, and Collier can mark. Fremantle building down the southern wing.
Collier spots a teammate, Driscoll, who takes a bounce, runs towards left half forward and then kicks out of bounds on the full. It's a genuine clanger. I'll see that again, I reckon, a couple of times throughout the week. Ball to be taken by the Blues through Young. He's got it at right half back. Looks across half back. Looks down the line. And elects to send it down the line. Kicks to a big pack on the southern wing. One down by Mackay, but it's straight to Walker. Hand passes backwards for the Dockers. Pierce at left half back. Good pressure applied by Owies. I'm going to work it on though to O'Driscoll. Cox under pressure. Just got it forward to Collier. Stabs the pass beautifully to Schultz, who marks on the attacking point of the centre square at left half forward. Sends it towards full forward. It floats through the Lobb, who gathers, runs 60 to Carlton's 4:6:30. Their lead, even my maths can work it out, an obvious 30 points at the 8-minute mark of the third term. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Our experts, Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Well, again, Carlton couldn't work their way through the Fremantle zone. They ended up having to go long down the line where all the tools were, and it was just front and centre by Walters. They were able to chip it through, and then a great kind of kick and great vision from Schultz, your man, Bronny.
Yeah, Fremantle have started this quarter fantastic. They're hitting targets, they're playing precise, they're quick ball movement, but it's Carlton's no reward for effort. They've dropped 2 marks inside their forward 50. There should have been goals, and they've been no reward for effort.
Shocking bounce back in the middle. Did Schultz mean that kick?
I reckon he did.
Yeah, I think
so. Out the back.
But it was for Frederick, I reckon.
Well, there was
50.
There were actually two players waiting out the back for it. Frederick was like, "You've stolen it from me," as Lob just went waltzing by.
I thought you're on the Schultz bandwagon, aren't you?
I'm a shooter fan. I love him, but I wasn't sure he meant that. It's out of the middle. Williams smashes it forward for the Blues. Tumbling ball. Martin comes up, gathers in the pack, goes one way, then the other, sweeps a handball to Cripps, off a step, snaps on goal, and sneaks it through. The captain, Cripps, delivers when the Blues need it. Brings it back to 4 goals. 5-6-36 the Blues. Fremantle 9-6-60, 9 minutes and change into the third.
Well, they desperately needed that one, the Blues. You could tell that Fremantle had come out and kicked a couple, and the momentum was all but lost, really, for Carlton. So a much-needed goal, and they probably need another couple where that one came from.
Back-to-back goals. Put some pressure back on Fremantle again. But yeah, great exciting game, that's for sure. Lots of good ball movement, good skills, some good goals. Yeah, fantastic.
Carlton fans, they need to remember they're not out of this yet. History at this ground should tell them that. Paddy Cripps was up and about. Darcy wins the tap down for Fremantle. Getting back there, Hewitt to Cripps again, spun away from Switkowski, hand pass to Williams. Spirals a kick inside forward 50. Good defensive mark to Ryan. Had it for Fremantle. Switches play to O'Driscoll. Marks where the 50's painted on the ground at right half back. He will pause for a moment. Now get told to move it on. Takes a couple of steps, comes towards centre wing. Leaping up Taberner through his hands. At the drop was Mundy. Hand pass to Brodie. Had to juggle for a moment and was able to work it towards his hands. Goes towards Walters. Leaping up in the air. Was taken high. And I'll get the free kick here. Fremantle wasted. That was frustrating. Tucker kicked into the man on the mark. Cripps emerges with it. Oh, Fisher goes flying through. He's tackled by Walker. And that's incorrect disposal as the ball jarred away. Fremantle with another chance to set up. Walker to O'Driscoll, who marks it right half back.
O'Driscoll on his left boot, stabs it towards Taberner. Saad does well to spoil, comes down in front for Chera and the Blues. Little 1-2. Now Chera wants to kick and does so well, gets it back to Parks. They go short to De Koning in the middle of the ground. Fremantle leading by 4 goals. De Koning back to Newman at centre half back. Sends it out towards the wing, and Chera just gets there in the nick of time.
The boo started before he even marked it.
Yeah. Chera retreats with a short kick back infield to Williams. Carlton happy to just control possession for the time being. Bouncing ball to De Koning. Handball to Nunes. Run down. Switkowski got him. No prior, says the umpire. Now a loose footy at half forward for Carlton. Cripps picks it up off the deck. Handball to Cottrell. Handball to Chera. Left foot kick inside 50. Darcy goes back with the flight. Mackay crushes the pack. Ball comes off hands and out of play. A throw in the left forward pocket for Carlton. They kicked the last goal after the Dockers kicked the first 2 of this second half. 12 minutes into the third term. Fremantle by 24 points.
Ball's put back into play again. Darcy wins it down for Fremantle. It bobbles around. Martin out after it. Hewitt surely crashed into Ryan. Umpire says no. Taken then by Pearce, and he's tackled the ground. Underneath all of that, last man up will be Martin. Ball up the call. Mackay Up against Darcy. Darcy won it down. Mundy's kick was smothered by Chera. It ricochets away off his hands. He goes over the boundary line for a throw-in. Right next to the left-hand behind post. Discussions between both sets of players. A bit of push and shove between Mundy and Chera. Throwing in. Throwing underneath it. Darcy tapped it down back towards the goal. Dangerously, though. Durden tried to emerge with it, lost it. Mundy on his knees. Hand pass backwards. Came to Brodie, now to Tucker. Freo should get out here to Logue. Kicks towards left half back. Williams battles away against Collier. Might have legged him, he has. Free kick to the Docker. Couldn't get it cleanly, then Collier went out after it. Gathered it, got legs, gets the free kick. He's in the left back pocket. Fremantle's lead is 24 points. 14 gone in the third.
So Collier kicks long to a contest on the wing. Wiedering late arriving, fists it away. Akers onto the loose footy. That goes with the banana around the boundary. Bouncing ball, tumbling towards half forward. There's a free kick here that's been picked out. It's going to go the way of the Dockers. Rory Lobb is down, possibly with a little bit of blood as well. Yeah, blood coming from his mouth. The blood rule called by the umpire, and Lobb holding his top lip or possibly his teeth.
You hope he's not his teeth. I don't think he's wearing a mouth guard, is he?
Doesn't look like it.
See what happened here. Ran straight into the head of Nick Newman. I don't think
he had no awareness, Benny. He was just running and watching the ball and wasn't watching where he was going in front.
It might be a chomper, you know. Holding the white towel to his mouth as he comes from the ground, Rory Lobb. So a free kick to the Dockers on the wing. Akers to take it. High ball towards the attacking arc. Goes over the top of the pack. Bounces out the back. Chera onto the footy. Handball to Williams. Williams will kick Carlton back to the wing.
Turns it over, though. Up and marking Akers. He has it for Fremantle at left half forward. 2 kicks from goal. Akers kicks high up into the air. Player went to ground. Free kick going towards them. It'll be Schultz' free kick. It was dealt with before the ball got anywhere near it. So the push in the back. Schultz was running across, and that is just an agricultural shove from Boyd, and I had no idea how he thought he could get away with that.
And then he reckons it was his facial expression was surprised that he got caught doing it. Oh, what? Who touched him?
The only surprise would be that Schultz didn't get sent into the fence. Schultz from the left forward pocket with the free kick. He kicks the goal. That's 3 for Lockie Schultz. And 10 for the Dockers. 10-6-66 to Carlton's 5-6-36. Their leaders back to 30 points at the 16-minute mark of the third term on Grandstand AFL. ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Clint Wilden in commentary alongside Ben Cameron, our experts Cara Antonio and Michael Braun. And genuinely, looking again, I have no clue how Boyd could have thought he would have got away with that. It's in the back, he gives him a shove, and he sends Schultz sprawling to the ground.
Bizarre, really silly as well, because Schultz was never going to go up for a mark. Really, you needed to just keep down on the ground with him to try and win the front and centre and the ground ball.
It was just pressure.
Yeah.
Drew the free kick, silly free kick when Blackman are under pressure.
Fremantle have now kicked 8 of the last 10 goals in this game as Darcy taps it to himself in the middle. Backfeeds a handball to the evergreen Mundy, who works his way to half-back and then coolly and calmly goes laterally to Brandon Walker. Fremantle out by 5 goals. As Walker goes back inside the defensive 50 to Cox. Most defensive man on the ground for the Dockers. Flares it out towards the wing, and Tucker goes up and takes a nice mark under some pressure. Darcy Tucker, back from concussion last week as the unused Medi-sub. Plays 100th game next week, all things remaining equal. Goes short and lateral out towards David Mundy again. Fremantle lead by 30 points, 17 minutes into the third.
Mundy for Freo to left half forward. Darcy out, couldn't mark. Brought to ground though by the Dockers. Switkowski, Sarong to Brayshaw, now to Collier, all by hand as Collier dodges around Chera. Kicks towards Walters. Was he being held? He was. In fact, the free kick over the shoulder against Boyd. Another he's given away. Walters too far out to score himself. Pops it into the left forward pocket. Schultz marks. Right where he received the free kick just minutes before. Deep in the left forward pocket. About 30 from goal.
Well, a clear free kick there to Walters. And just again, composure going inside forward 50. And if you're going to kick it to someone in red-hot form, why not go to the man in Schultz who's got 3 on the board already?
Glendenning Allen medalist from the Derby early this season. Schultz snaps around the body. Not with this. He's narrow, missing to the left. 10-7-67 Freo. Carlton 5-6-36. The third quarter blues continue for Carlton. 19 gone in the third on Grandstand AFL.
He's trying to kick a 4th goal in an AFL game for only a second time, Lachie Schultz. Wiedering in the left-back pocket, goes long to the wing, and Darcy stands big and tall. Doesn't take the mark because it's off hands. Has to go back to Walker. Kicks the Dockers back to half-forward. Taverner in front. Saad there halves the contest. Coming through, Wiedering. Just gets a handball away to Nunes. Handball to Walsh. Frederick brings the pressure again close to the boundary line. And out will get a throw in. 47 metres around from the Dockers attacking goal, or right from where Jack Nunes struck it after the siren to sink Fremantle the last time these two teams met here.
The Jack Nunes pocket. Thrown in again. Comes down towards Walters. Lovely hand pass to Switkowski. Centres the ball. Punched by Boyd towards the goal. It'll take a right-hand turn, the footy, and then tumble over 2 metres to the right of the right-hand behind post. Freo kicking to the city end in this term, or whatever is left of it, to the right of our broadcast position. Ball to be spun back in. Lobb does the ruck work. Takes clean possession as well. Great tackle last minute. Just getting his hand to it was Setterfield in his 50th game. Spills out again, and it's been held in, according to the officials. Eventually been locked in. Saad doing the tackling for the Blues. Setterfield wins the tap down, spills out towards Akers, hard up against the boundary in the right forward. Oh, that's one of the goals of the season! He threw it on the boot and somehow has found the major opening from 35 metres out. That is a stunning goal from Blake Akers, who had just millimetres to work with. What a goal! 11 now for Fremantle. 11-7-73 to Carlton, 5-6-36. That's a breathtaking moment for Blake.
Wowee. Maybe you can rename it the Akers pocket now, Benny. But again, really smart by Lobb. Touch on from, I don't know if you saw that, Brawny, but the touch on from Walters just to get him into some space. And when he first kicked that, I thought he was centering it. And then I saw the cheese got behind the goals.
Right forward pocket, right foot banana, bending the wrong way, if that makes sense. And somehow it went between the two big sticks.
Amazing goal.
Just nailed it, didn't he? Hit it flush, sweet. And it didn't look like missing either. It just went straight. Great goal. Excellent.
Heavens above, that's some sort of finish.
The Freo chant goes up. The Koning hooks it down. Onto it quickly, Hewitt. He's stripped of it, holding the ball. Brayshaw gives it off to Brodie. It goes short to Tucker for the Dockers out on the wing. Fremantle in full stride now. Tucker comes infield. And Ryan Marks just inside the centre square. What levers can Michael Voss pull in the coach's box as Ryan goes short to Sarong? Sarong 70 out. He sets it up to the pocket, looking for a marker. Darcy comes in from the side, doesn't mark it. Out the back it goes to Newman, who chips it short to Hewitt for the Blues. 40 out from his defensive goal. He'll kick towards the wing, and Cripps will come up and take an uncontested mark. Fremantle leading by 37 points, 22 minutes into the third.
The Blues have been busy tonight as Cripps kicks down the throat of Lowe, who marks it right half back. He's just in the best position in that marking contest. Sends it back to Clark inside his defensive 50. Now to Walker, who stepped off his line. He's immediately under real pressure. Was able to get a kick away towards Clark. Short kick to Brayshaw. Not long enough to be a mark, and Freo have got away with it. Lovely kick from Brayshaw, and a good mark to Cox on centre wing. To Tucker, who spears the pass towards Taverner. He marks and plays on and sends it back inside forward 50 for Lobb to Mark. He'll be looking for his fourth, Rory Lobb. And he'll be kicking at goal from 47 out. He'll start in line with the right-hand behind post.
This is what we haven't seen from Fremantle for a long time, is their ability to hurt the opposition on turnovers, create the turnovers, and now great ball movement because they were clean, precise, hitting targets, taking good marks.
It's what they're leading the league at in this season. Points scored from opposition turnovers. Lobb's kick is disappointing. It's out to the left-hand side. A minor score.
Just didn't kick through it.
11-8-74. So Carlton's 5-6-36, 23 gone in the third. Oh, they take some risks here. They look to hand pass their way out of defensive 50. Sard just got a hand pass away, but it's straight to O'Driscoll. He was under pressure. Doherty tries to shovel it forward. Umpire spots a free kick. It's back to Doherty after a push in the back. Sorry, Ben, just taking over there.
No stress. They were almost in a pickle, the Blues. Doherty across the face of goal to Wiedering. Sweeps a handball away to Newman, who goes on that left leg and spots up Corey Durden, marking on the wing. Wants to come infield, looking for Nunes. Clark, flying fist, but it gets out the back. Hewitt onto the footy, thumps it towards full forward. Mackay in good position. Great fist from Cox, brings it down in front. Fisher onto the footy. Brayshaw wraps him up, holding the ball. Brayshaw caught a fish. The little one. You have to throw it back. Give it a kiss, throw it back. Brayshaw goes laterally and Ryan in the right back pocket. Fremantle leading by 38 points. Long kick from Ryan towards the wing. Curnow out bodies Darcy and takes the mark. And the big ruckman stays down.
He's hurt, Darcy. Curnow sends it back inside forward 50. Fine mark, Brennan Cox. He's taken a couple of exceptional marks tonight. Dangerous kick across the face of goal. But it got to O'Driscoll before Doherty could. Short pass, still in the left back pocket, finds Schultz. Schultz sends it back to Ryan, marking at fullback. Closing stages of this, the third term. Ryan on a bit of a run. Kicks beyond defensive 50 towards left half back. Taberner was there, got hands to it. Couldn't mark under pressure from Newman. Ball across the boundary line for a throw-in. And I can see why he was down for a little bit then, Darcy. Completely accidental after the marking contest against Curnow. As he went forward, hit the deck, and Curnow, his right foot landed on Darcy's head. Certainly not deliberate, but it would have hurt. I'd have stayed down for the next 6 months. As Walsh works it forward for Carlton. Kicks towards right half forward. It tumbles away from the players there and over the boundary line for a throw-in.
He's getting a little bit of his own medicine back, isn't he? He's been
monstering everybody else.
Hasn't he, for a couple of weeks as well?
Yeah. Curnow said that's how the rest of the competition's been feeling.
Matt Fyfe watching on in the Fremantle coach's box from the throw-in. The Koning gets it back. Back feeds a handball. Away to Doherty. Now Nunes hooks it inside, attacking 50 for the Blues. Launching Curnow. Can't mark. Fisher knocks it on. Martin runs into a Brayshaw tackle. Stands up in it. No prior opportunity. The umpire to ball it up. 40 metres out from the attacking goal for the Blues. Brayshaw with 7 tackles tonight for Fremantle. The Koning wins the tap decisively. No blue there. Akers onto the footy. Nowhere to go. Umpire again holds his arms to his chest. 7 tackles to go along with 18 disposals. 7 contested possessions. A couple of inside 50s. Mundy gets the clearing kick for the Dockers. Big leap from Sard. Gets a little right on Switkowski and juggles the chest mark for the Blues at right half forward.
Moves it short. Doherty marks. 2 kicks from goal. He'll put it high up into the air. It's a thumping kick. The Koning fluke couldn't mark at the back. It spills down to Walker. Oren straight into centre field. Taken then by Mackay, who snaps, and he hits the very top of the left-hand goal post. Frustration abounds for Carlton. 5-7-37 the Blues. Fremantle 11-8-74. It's the Dockers by 37 points. 28 gone in the third.
So Carlton going to lose another third term. Haven't won one this season. Whatever they're doing at halftime, change it. Ryan goes long. Nice mark from de Koning in the pack. There's an exciting prospect for the Blues. Goes laterally. Sets a task for Setterfield. Akers brings it down. Walsh there to pick it up for Carlton. Gives it back to Setterfield. Good kick inside 50. And Cripps marks. And he's taken high as well by Schultz. He'll get 50. So Cripps will be marched to the goal line. No one stands the mark for the Dockers. Cripps will run in and pop it through. His second. He's got the last two for the Blues. And Carlton bring it back to a 31-point deficit. They're 6-7-43. Fremantle 11-8-74 on the stroke of three-quarter time.
Well, he obviously Schultz wanted to make Cripps earn that one. Obviously, yeah, way too late there, and a clear, maybe a little bit of added mayo onto it, but a clear 50 after he'd taken a really nice mark, Cripps.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. A minute to go in the third term. You know, yeah, it was a little bit of mayo for sure, but it was unnecessary.
Absolutely the 50.
Very late.
You want to put the pressure back on Carlton to go back and kick those set shots.
And especially Cripps too. Is the best shot for goal.
De Koning wins it down to Cripps again. Tackled by Mundy. Ball jars free. Brayshaw emerges with it. Bursts through the centre circles. Kicks inside forward 50. Wiedering got a fist on it. Bounce back though through the Dockers again. Brodie to O'Driscoll by hand. Sweeps a hand pass over the top. It's there for Switkowski. Clever tap to his own advantage. Got tackled though. Gave it off the lob. Threw it on the boots. It's across the face and out of bounds on the full. No change to that score. Free kick to the Blues at left full back. Fremantle's lead as we close in on three-quarter time is 31 points.
So Setterfield pumps it as long as he can. Darcy there, too big, too strong for de Koning. Shoves him out of the way, takes the mark. Kicks it back towards full forward, looking for Taberner. Juggles it. Schultz comes flying through. They play a little bit of volleyball. Top of the attacking goal square for the Dockers. Carlton come away with it. Sard to Doherty, back to Sard, now Setterfield, kick smothered by O'Driscoll. In fact, it wasn't, it was just out of bounds on the full. So O'Driscoll, in the Nathan O'Driscoll pocket, from which he's kicked 3 goals. Brayshaw's there too. He'll give it back to O'Driscoll.
A lot of pockets at this ground. There's the Sarong pocket, the Nunes pocket, which is now going to be the Akers pocket as well, and the O'Driscoll pocket.
He's kicked 3 wonderful goals from this pocket. It's the wrong side for a left foot up. Goes with the drop punt. And he misses to the left-hand side. Gave it a good ride. Did the man they call Drizzy a little narrow. 32 points. Fremantle's advantage. Virtually three-quarter time.
It's the umpire done here. He's going to ask Newman to go back. Take the kicking duties again. Thumps it beyond defensive 50. As the siren sounds for three-quarter time, Fremantle with a 32-point advantage after they led by 19 at the half and trailed by 4 at quarter time. The Carlton's trouble continue when it comes to third quarters. They're now 0-6 against the third quarters won in season 2022. The goal kickers for Fremantle. Rory Lobb's got 3 and so too does Lockie Schultz. Michael Walters with 2 and singles to Darcy Akers in one of the goals of the year, and Brodie as well. For Carlton, Paddy Cripps has got 2. Mackay, Martin, Curnow and Owies, the other goal kickers for the Blues. It's the Dockers 11-9-75 to Carlton 6-7-43. There's a quarter to come on Saturday here on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
ABC, your trusted source of accurate and timely emergency information.
We've had the ABC on basically all afternoon listening.
There's so much going on. Getting news is a priority.
Well, I'm a fan of the ABC.
It must be love, love, love.
I listen to the ABC every day. I'm extremely grateful.
ABC Radio, reliable source for information.
On radio, on the ABC Listen app and the ABC Emergency website.
It must be love, love, love.
ABC, stay connected.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Snaps around the corner, looking for Frederick. Oh, look out, Boyd coming the other way. Ball spills to Sarong. Sweeps a handball to Collier. Goes short for Lobb. Hands out in front, he takes the mark. Boots a ball from 40. Lobb finishes, and Fremantle start the second half beautifully.
Fox under pressure, just got it forward to Collier. Stabs the pass beautifully to Schultz, who marks. The attacking point of the centre square at left half forward. Sends it towards full forward. It floats through the wall. With Gathers runs into the goal square and snatches it home for his third.
Martin comes up, Gathers in the back, goes one way then the other, sweeps a handball to Cripps, off a step, snaps on goal and sneaks it through. The captain Cripps delivers when the Blues need it. Brings it back to 4 goals.
Setterfield wins the tap down, spills out towards Akers, hard up against the boundary in the right foot. Oh, that's one of the goals of the season. He threw it on the boot and somehow has found the major opening from 35 metres out. That is a stunning goal from Blake Akers, who had just millimetres to work with. That's a breathtaking moment for Blake.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Pay credit to Michael Walters, who had a little tap in all of that. The replay showed us what a wonderful goal it was to Blake Akers. The Blues have got a bit of work to do. They're to get into this contest with a quarter to play. They trail by 32 points. Earlier today, wins for Adelaide and Port. The Crows by a point over the Western Bulldogs. Port by 84 over the West Coast Eagles. And just to remind listeners throughout WA, the Jack Jumpers beat Melbourne United in the National Basketball League, which means tomorrow, from around about 25 past 3 WA time, we will bring you the Perth Wildcats against the South East Melbourne Phoenix. The Wildcats must win to extend their consecutive streak of making finals into a 36th year. Ben Cameron and Alan Black will bring you that from about 20 past 3 tomorrow if you're listening in the West. What do you make of what we've seen so far, though, here tonight at Perth Stadium, the 25th Len Hall tribute game, and the Dockers doing what they want to do in front of a sellout crowd on this big occasion for the football club. They're up 11-9-75 to 6-7-43. Cara Antonio and Michael Braun, give us your thoughts.
Well, Clint, 100% there. I think that, Fremantle started the third quarter like they finished the second quarter. Fantastic. They're clearly in complete control of this game now. The question is, can they sustain it and have a really good win? Don't let Carlton back in. They can smell blood. They need to step on it, on their throat, and finish off this game and make this nearly a 10-goal game. It's great. Blues started that quarter, had all the play, moving the ball really well across the ground, some beautiful bits of play, but dropped 2 marks inside forward, about 15 metres out, and they didn't get that scoreboard pressure on Fremantle. And then Fremantle went bang, bang, 3 goals, and then busted them open. And that's clearly what pretty much happened for that third quarter.
Yeah, and for me, the disposal efficiency, at the moment, Fremantle is sitting at 81. They average about 74. So they're being cleaner. They've been able to hit targets, especially inside forward 50, where they're plus 7 marks to their counterparts in Carlton. But they've also had plus 16 inside 50s, providing their forwards and the team way more opportunity to score, and it's showing with their scoreboard pressure.
Ben Cameron's got some of the numbers in front of him. Benny.
So the contested possession, Fremantle plus 4. Inside 50s, Fremantle plus 17. Marks inside 50, 10-3 the way of Fremantle. Will Brodie with 20 leads the way for them. Sam Walsh, geez, a heck of a player. 26 disposals. Adam Chera with 24. Cripps with 23 for the Blues.
You've just joined us as well for the Blues. The bad news came for them at quarter time. They had to sub out their ruckman, Mark Pitnet, a knee clash in the ruck contest. And he went pretty much straight off the ground, couldn't return, and they had to activate the medical sub in Boyd at quarter time. Been a bit of a tough night for rucks as well, because Sean Darcy had his head, trodden on by Charlie Curnow. It wasn't in any way malicious. He went to ground in a marking contest, Curnow going forward with his eyes only on the football, ended up standing, unfortunately, on the Dockers ruckman head. He's off the ground at the moment, but there were no real concerns for him. It will be, though, Rory Lobb to start in the ruck contest to get things underway against Tom de Koning. Here we go in the final term. And it's Lobb with the more telling tap. He follows it up too and then gets a hand pass away under pressure, only as far as Williams. He's tackled by Switkowski across the attacking edge of the centre square for Fremantle. The Dockers heading towards the left of our broadcast position in this final term, the Farmer Freeway end. And from the tap and the restart, it comes down towards Brayshaw. Kicks inside forward 50 to Taberner. Threw it on the boot. Under pressure in the left forward pocket. Centering kick. Newman punches it away defensively. Tucker out after it. Gathers. Goes back to Mundy. Set upon immediately. Somehow got a hand pass to Walters. Now it's to Brayshaw. Brayshaw, 45 metres out. He snaps, but he misses to the right-hand side. Minor score for Fremantle, 11-10-76 to Carlton 6-7-43, opening 45 seconds of the final quarter. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, Clint Wilden alongside Ben Cameron in commentary, our experts Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
So Williams to bring it in for the Blue Baggers, runs to the pocket, whacks it as long as he can towards Curnow. Logue right there with him, fisted down, Schultz at the fall of the ball, tackled by Chera. The two number fives go at it. Lachie Schultz couldn't wait to jump into the number 5 vacated by Adam Chera. Is now out of the middle. Go the Dockers. Back feeding a handball Mundy to Ryan, who goes high and long towards full forward. Good mark. Lewis Young coming in from the side takes a nice defensive mark for the Blues. 33 points their lead. We've played 99 seconds in this final term on Grandstand AFL Saturday Night Footy.
All the Blues messing around with it, but it worked out okay. Hand pass went back to Young under pressure, found Wiedering, who, as he normally does, takes the mark when he needs to and calms things right down. Now be told to play on. The skipper from the left back pocket sends it to a 2-on-2 at left half back. There's a holding decision going Mackay's way. They'll have the free kick for Carlton. They've certainly evened up the free kicks. In fact, they're now in favour of Fremantle, 19-18. Ball in the hand of Mackay, a long way from where the Blues fans would like him to be. Gets told to play on. Kicks down the southern wing. Leaping up in the air. Cripps from the side, brought it to ground. Martin gathered under pressure, puts it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Fremantle at right half back. The Dockers have left in them in this final term. They've won every fourth quarter so far this season, which is a remarkable turnaround because they were last year just about they were point blank the worst team in final quarters. So far the only team to be 5 from 5 in final terms this season. As Aish at fullback moves it to Clark, who marks in the left back pocket.
Clark goes short for Logue. Kick had to be good, it was. Logue goes back to fullback, and Ryan can mark. Now wants to send it out towards the southern wing. Dangerous kick. Doherty comes across, fists it away from Tucker, and forces a throw in on the wing, southern side of the ground here at Perth Stadium.
That was very good pressure from Carlton then, not letting Fremantle get out so easy.
Umpire spins it back in. Lobbing to Koning. To Koning, down for Cripps, handball to Chera, handball to Newman, a little bereft sidestep, and then a short kick to Hewitt. 70 out from the attacking goal for the Blues. They'd love the first to the fourth, and he spots up Cripps, who almost drops the sit-up, but he completes the mark, 45 metres out, plumb in front.
it was just space in front of Cripps, and nice little kick, called Cripps into it, and an easy mark. Made it a little bit harder than what it needed to be, though.
He's gone back a fair way. Going to kick this from about 55 metres.
The West Aussie, hamstring injury just 13 days ago. He's kicked their last two. Captain Cripps unloads from 50. He's kicked their last three. And he's putting them on his back. Back to 27 points. Carlton 7-7-49. Fremantle 11-10-76. 5 minutes into the fourth here on Grandstand AFL. Cara Antonio, Michael Braun.
Well, he's doing it all, isn't he, Cripps? He's had 25. He's had 2 marks inside 50. The Blues have only had 4 in total, and he's had 6 clearances. So he needs a little bit more help, I think, to get Carlton anywhere close to winning this football game.
He's kicking at 84% as well, which is pretty good.
Particularly when you consider so many of those kicks are under pressure in the middle, stoppages.
But he still needs to get, I think he needs to get his kick and handball ratio around the other way. He's got 16 handballs and only 9 kicks.
Koning wins it down. They'll break away again here. Cripps had to go back by a hand to Hewitt. He'll send it inside forward 50. Mackay attacks the football, couldn't mark. Spills down to Ryan. Tackled immediately by Durden. Not coming out of there. No prior. Ball up the decision. Blues would remember what they've done in the past at this ground against this opponent. They certainly should anyway. Mundy hacks it forward up in the air. Clark couldn't do much with it. Came out towards Hewitt. Short hand pass to Cottrell. Tackled immediately. Right at the top of their attacking 50, Carlton. So there'll be another ball up. Lob versus De Koning. Lob stayed down. Won it down. Straight to Mundy. Tackled immediately. Is it coming out? No. Ball up once more. Hewitt wrapped him up. Geez, been a good recruit for them. Ball up again.
De Koning slaps it. Sarong steals it. Cripps comes through, bustles through, just gets a handball away. Picking it up, Walsh. Getting involved though, trying to steal it, Akers, he does. Handball to Lob. Handball to Sarong, who kicks a high ball into the middle of the ground. Bouncing ball. Frederick trying to get onto it for the Dockers. Doherty trying to get back. Switkowski keeping it moving forward. Slaps it inside 50. Paddles it out for Collier. Collier leaves it behind. Frederick has to go back and try and get it. Sard's there for the Blues. Gets a little handball away. Switkowski. Handball to Sarong. Snaps on goal and it bounces into the behind post.
Free kick.
There's a free kick. It's coming back. And it'll go the way of Switkowski.
Well, he deserves this.
He was taken high by Boyd. And again, it was a little agricultural from Boyd.
A number of individual efforts in that passage of play, though, by Switkowski, so it's only fitting that he has the shot on goal.
Sean Darcy on the bench, jacket on. Bailey Banfield, the Medi sub, warming up. I think there's an issue there. We might be about to see the Medi sub. Possibly concussion.
He looks dejected, doesn't he?
So Switkowski, rated elite by Champion Data in the off-season, raised the eyebrows of some. He hits the post here. (11-11-77) play, 7-7-49. 28 points, Fremantle's advantage. 8 minutes into the final term.
Cash Fodder downstairs. Do you have an update for us?
Yeah, Bailey Banfield's just taken his warm-up top off, so it looks like he's been subbed into the game, and Sean Darcy is out. We're just waiting on confirmation on the reason why Darcy's been subbed out.
Yeah, he did look pretty sore. I reckon concussion, as Ben said, is probably a pretty good bet. Having had your head trodden on by Charlie Kerner. Purely accidental again, I'll remind everyone, as the Blues are away. Down the outer side. Here's a chance to go inside forward 50 from Nunes. Dumping kick and the mark taken by Curnow, who's doing damage all over the ground now. He's right up against the boundary at left full forward. This would make it very interesting. He'll snap around the body. He's missed. A minor score. Blues bring up the half century. They're 7-8-50, trailing the Dockers by 27. Freo 11-11-77, 9 gone in the fourth. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Bailey Banfield on the ground. The sub's been activated for the Dockers.
Ryan kicks from the kick in, long to the logo. Tapiner 2 bites at it, doesn't complete it. Walters arrives, picks it up. Handball to Tucker, handball to Walker. The watches his back, he has some wheels. He'll kick out towards the southern wing, looking for Collier. Boyd does well. Fists it down, Akers after the football. Has time to gather, just stops props. Good smother from Boyd. A diving smother. A great effort. Forces a throw in, southern side of the ground, neutral territory on the wing. So 27 points, Fremantle's advantage. Carlton with a history of comebacks against the Dockers at this venue.
Tony won it down. Brodie was there, though, for the Dockers at the drop. Gave it to Mundy, back to Akers. Kicks around the body towards right half forward. Couldn't find a target. It's allowed to bounce. Sard tapped it over his shoulder. Collier onto it. Sard forced to backtrack. He worked Collier out from beside the football and did well. Sard gathered for the Blues to Doherty. Kicked the on-defensive 50 for Nunes on his knees. Able to hand it off to Doherty. Shocking kick, but worked out okay. Bounced the Cripps. Gave it by hand to Walsh. Pops it to Durden in the centre square. Pauses for a moment. Looks at what's ahead of him. Kicks towards left half forward. Up is Curnow. He'll wheel around. He'll send it deep towards full forward. Leaping up into the air. Young! He marks just outside the goal square. Lewis Young throwing forward. 1 goal in what is now a 28-game career. He's right in front. Young looking for his first of the season. It's a major. And it keeps the Blues in this contest. 11 gone in the final term. Carlton are 8-8-56. The Dockers 11-11-77. It's just now a 21-point advantage in favour of the home team. Our experts Michael Braun and Cara Antonio.
Well, Cara, Curnow could not get near it for the first 2, maybe 3 quarters. And now, this is what I spoke about at 3-quarter time. Fremantle have to start to punish sides and put sides away. They cannot let them get a sniff here, because who knows, if Carlton start playing a bit better football and start hitting targets going forward, Curnow comes into the game, Mackay comes into the game, all of a sudden this game could get real interesting.
And to quote Yogi Berra and his great tautology, I mean, it's deja vu all over again for Fremantle. This has happened before against Carlton. Bounce back in the middle, back to 21 points. The Blues are coming. Walsh out of the middle, snaps it towards half forward. Bouncing ball, Fisher keeps it out in front. Coming through Chera, Akers there. He's able to pick it up. Handball away to Sarong. Handball back into traffic and Brayshaw. Handball back to Sarong. Stops, props. Kicks laterally to Aish at left half back. So Aish, headband on, long sleeves. Kicks a low ball around the northern wing and turns it over. Sardi's able to mark. And the 75% capacity crowd is starting to get a little toey.
Understandably. Fingernails are being chewed down if you're a Dockers supporter. Kick towards right half forward for the Blues. Martin's remained down. He's a bit worse for wear, holding his arm. Clark had it, gave it to Logue, got it back in the left back pocket. He runs to full back and stabs a short pass into his defensive goal square for Cox to mark. Still down in the hands of the trainers here, Martin. They've already made the medical sub and activated him in Boyd coming on for Pitternet, the Blues. Ball's moved to Logue, who marks and kicks beyond defensive 50, and Akers can't mark over the boundary line. The pressure came from Sard. It'll be a throw-in between left half-back and centre wing.
I think Darcy's hurt Fremantle this quarter. I think him getting subbed off has given Carlton a bit of a sniff, and his tendency in the middle of the ground.
Understandably so. He's been so good, and the best and fairest last year. His centre-field's kick is smothered beautifully by Brayshaw, who continues to follow up. And the ball has ricocheted off his boot and flown away. And unfortunately for the young Docker, it's gone over the boundary line on the full. It'll be a free kick to be taken here by Doherty. He's got it at right half back for the Blues, who are right in this game still. They trail by 21, 14 gone in the last.
The Baggers are up and about. As Doherty kicks forward of the wing towards a big pack. Lob with hands on it. Doesn't complete the mark. Now beneath the big pack of players. Mackay applies the tackle on Pearce. Brings him down to ground level. Ball spits out. Extracting it, Chera. Handball to Young. Doherty slaps it on. Logue attacks the footy. Chera comes through. Cripps clean while others weren't. Gives it off towards Hewitt, who snaps around the boundary line. Nobody able to mark. Getting involved Mackay, but Brodie wins it for the Dockers at halfback. Gives it off to Brayshaw, who floats it to the wing, and the Dockers could be out.
Here's Schultz, who waits, steaming by, and then taking the mark at left half forward is Akers. He steps inside his opponent, sends it to full forward. Fredericks there. Spoil came from Parks. Umpire spots a push, beg your pardon. It's against Fredericks, and the free kick to be taken by Williams of the Blues. Dangerous kick, it's been chopped off. Oh, he tried to go short. Switkowski saw it. He sharked it, he took the mark. And they'll go in the Dockers here, and they'll have plenty to say as well to Hewitt, which is where it was meant to go. Schultz, bit of chat. Sarong's having a bit to say to Parks as well. Oh, what a turnover from Williams. Switkowski, a chance for Fremantle. From 40 out and just to the left, he kicks the goal. They'll be breathing a bit easier now, those in purple around Perth Stadium. They're back to a 27-point advantage, 16 gone in the final term. 12-11-83 the Dockers. Carlton 8-8-56. Grandstand AFL and ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Here's Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Well, just a lazy kick out of the back half, and Switkowski's been outstanding tonight. I think his pressure around the ball and his ability to stay in the contest and keep his feet. So fantastic to see him hit the scoreboard. But back to your point, Brawny, having obviously Lob having to play the full-time ruck now, Fremantle are down a tall up forward, so they've got to find another avenue to goal, and you can see the small forwards are stepping up.
Bounce back in the middle. Lob and Young doing the ruck work, neither with the decisive tap. Picking it up, Hewitt. Handball to Walsh, who's tackled by Switkowski. Took him high, gave away the free kick, Switkowski. Walsh a little worse for wear getting up. Can Carlton come again? Walsh sends it out to the wing. Finds Boyd, who kicks forward of the wing. Mark taken by Nunes. Thinks about giving off the handball. Now will run and kick long inside 50 towards full forward. Curnow! 3 bites at it, and he's paid the mark. They might have had a few fingertips from Luke Ryan on the way through. It doesn't matter now. The umpire's paid the mark directly in front. 15 out.
Got touched by Mackay, I think, on the way down.
Yeah, I reckon it was touched by a couple. Yeah, they're very lucky. But umpire, I can't be the dissent. How many? That could have been very frustrating for the players.
Curnow to keep the Blues ticking. Pops it through. He's got a couple. And it's back inside 4 goals. 21 points. Fremantle's advantage. They're 12-11-83. Carlton 9-8-62. 18 minutes played in this 4th term on Grandstand AFL.
I'm not sure as a defender why you'd be going for the mark though. So you've got, I think it's Luke Ryan at the front of the contest. Get the fist to the ball. And that's an easy spoil.
We had Logue at the back too. He could come and just punch that. You know, Ryan, he probably could have punched as well. But if you're a key defender and you're 4th in line, you go up and you put your knee in the back of someone's head as well and get up there and smash it. Not nastily, but, you can eyes for the ball, kill the pack. They won't stand in front of you ever again.
I understand why the umpire would have paid that, though there were some fingertips in it. Easy to see that in the slow motion replay. There's a free kick off the ball here that's in the way of Chera. It was the non-controlling umpire who paid it too. So Chera goes right up the corridor, inside forward 50. Pearce attacked the football, couldn't get to it. Walsh was there, tackled immediately by Cox. He's 49 out from Carlton's goal, and right in front will have a ball up. Walsh has been tremendous again, as Ben said earlier. 29 disposals for him tonight. From the restart, ball goes back to the ground. Mundy tries to tap it away. Hewitt off the deck, gave it to Walsh, kicks Carlton into the right forward pocket. Ball bounces. It's met at genuine pace by O'Driscoll. Got in front of Setterfield and was happy enough with all the momentum to see the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in. Right half forward and 50 out from the Blues attacking goal. They're heading to the city end in this final term, and they're still in this contest as we're about to hit time on. They trail by 21.
Can they find another one to really put the frighteners up the Dockers? Chera with the clearance. High ball towards full forward. Mackay launches. Down in front, Aish. Dragged down by Mackay. Umpire says play on. Ball spits out. Now going after it, Brayshaw. Knocks it out towards Cox. Oh, he's after him. Gets it onto Ryan, though. Ryan snaps beyond defensive 50 for the Dockers. Bouncing ball. Slapped down by Parks. Switkowski onto it. Burst through three of them. Gets a handball away. Walters slaps it on. The Dockers away down this northern wing.
It bounces towards Banfield. He gathers straight away. He's tackled. Newman wraps him up. The ball comes out the side. Taberner, his legs, as he tried to get the football. He gets the free kick. He steps off his line. He's been told to play on. He doesn't realise it yet. Neither does DeConey. He's not sure what to do. Eventually, Taberner puts boot the ball, sends it inside forward 50. Walters, front position of Doherty, couldn't mark. Doherty, hand pass off the deck. He got it on in turn. Umpire spotted a free kick. Coming back to Doherty here. In the back against Walters. So he'll stand inside his defensive 50 and stab the pass out to Chera. For the 30th time tonight, the boos ring around Perth Stadium. Comes to Saad. Kicks the Blues to the outer side. That is a great kick. Perfectly weighted. Worked on its way again towards Nunes. Sends it inside forward 50. Big fly Curnow. Couldn't mark. Worked out by Hewitt to Owies to Durden. Cripps hard up against the boundary. Looks for Martin. Spoil came at the back for the Dockers. It bounced away to Sarong. Set upon immediately. Ball's been held in. Martin was one of two Carlton defenders who locked it in, but it's still inside the Blues forward 50. They trail by 21. 21 gone in the last.
Forward 50 stoppage for the Blues. Lob down to Mundy. Mundy out to Brodie. Brodie just whacks it away to the wing. High ball for Taberner. Bouncing ball. DeConing there with him. He slaps it towards the boundary line. And the umpire wants to throw it in. The attendance, 42,302. Fremantle by 21 points. Carlton with 3 of the last 4 goals. They're trying to come late. Walsh suckers it forward. Finds Chera. Away to Nunes. Looking for Boyd with the handball. Slaps it on. Mundy onto the loose footy. Wins it for the Dockers across half-back. Gives it to Walker. He'll kick towards half-forward and finds Sarong.
Race on here. Sarong and Saad. Saad did enough to apply some pressure. Collier tries to lend support. Can't hang on to the footy, but was happy enough to see it over for a neutral ball. He continues his run, this time backwards. He'll run straight off the ground through the interchange gates. Allows Frederick to return. There's a throw in at left half forward. Will be spun back into play. This is for the Fremantle Dockers left half forward. Lob, got a touch on it. It's down towards Walsh. Pressure applied by Brayshaw. Got a kick up into the air. Came to Hewitt. Back to Newman. Then on in turn to Doherty. Hand pass towards the boundary line. And happy to see it across was Setterfield. He was right there. Back to pretty much where we were just a few moments ago for another throw-in. Left half forward for the Dockers. 12-11 Fremantle. They're 83. Carlton 9-8-62. 23 gone in the last.
Time fast becoming an enemy for the Blues. Lob wins the tap. Down to Brodie. Goes back to Lob. Off to Akers, who shanks it. It lands just in the field of play and bounces out. A throw-in in the left forward pocket for the Fremantle Dockers. A good result.
Carlton has certainly lifted their work rate in this last probably 10-15 minutes, but it's probably too little too late. They need to do that in the third quarter.
Umpire spins it back in. Lobbin to Koning again. Slap to the front. Switkowski angles back in, snaps the goal and seals it. His second. And he can mark down a 5th win to start the season for the Dockers.
Well,
another 4 points there, 13-11-89. Carlton 9-8-62. Sorry, Carl.
Sorry, Benny. I was just saying, Squirkowski, we spoke about him just before. His work rate around the contest, a small forward, zipping in, zipping out through a number of defenders there. They're almost like training cones out on the ground for him, and a nice little snap around the corner. He's played well tonight.
He has, and he's come deep as well. Like, he was on the move from at the back as well. That was a great. That had to have been a setup between Lob and Swieczkowski. I think it was a great setup. I think it was a great finish, and he zigzag finish off. Good finish off to his game.
So he's kicked their last two. Fremantle no. They're closing in on another win. Umpire unhappy with the bounce. They'll bring it back. So not just a 5th win to start the season. 4 in succession now. Thrown up again. Cunning with the more telling tap. It's worked its way towards Walsh. Tackled by Mundy straight away. The Dockers, they'll be hard to ignore now around the rest of the nation as it's one down by De Koning. Over the top of it, Cripps. Hand passes backwards through the centre circles to Walsh. Running by Doherty, receives the hand pass, kicks towards right half forward. Marking there is Clark. Has it for Fremantle. Read it well. Goes short to Akers. Who's at left half back. Brayshaw provides an option short. He runs towards him. He marks. Still at left half back. Mentioned before that crowd, 42,302. Capacity because of COVID restrictions still in place in WA. 75% crowd capacity at these venues. Sellout game tonight. Kick comes from Fremantle towards left half forward. Wiedering at the back gathers. Look to work it around again. Comes from Newman, and then the kick off the boot of Walsh is turned over. Fremantle with it now through Collier. Stabs the pass beautifully to Mundy. And he has it at left half forward.
So Mundy just ambles back off the mark. And then thumps it into the pocket. De Koning does well. Takes a nice pack mark. Almost a chest mark in the pack. Kicks across the teeth of goal and able to find Wiedering.
He's tried hard all night, De Koning. Been solid.
Looks a real likely type for Carlton in years to come. Wiedering runs himself into a cul-de-sac. Goes with the handball back to Williams. He has to chip it towards a teammate in Owies. Sets a task for him. Akers comes up. Then Collier goes back to Akers. Akers jams it on the boot. High ball to full forward for the Dockers. Wiedering fists it down. Comes to Taberner. Jams it on the boot and floats it through. Fremantle put a little cherry on top. They're out by 33 points. As Taberner gets his first, 14-11-95, plays 9-8-62.
Well, it was pretty lucky, Taberner, then Clint and Ben. Taberner's gone from the penthouse to the outhouse in terms of goals. Little cherry there, kicking 7 last week and now kicking just the 1. But, yeah, it's a cherry on top, and that's just good forward pressure again from Fremantle. And they deserve this win. They've tried. They've played the better side for sure, but hats off to Carlton. They have had a bit of a crack in the third quarter, let them down.
That run of 5 straight goals as well in the second term where they just couldn't seem to arrest Fremantle's run. Dockers right back up the ladder as Lob wins the tap. Out to Sarong. Hand passes on again to Brodie. Moves it to Mundy. Running by Clark. Clark kicks deep inside forward 50. Doherty needed to make the spoil. If he hadn't got a fist to it, Walters was right there. He's happy to rush it through. for a minor score. 14-12-96 now, Freo. 9-8-62 Carlton. 29 gone in the last.
Doherty just drives it up the middle. Cripps with a little launch at the footy, trying to get a right on Aish. Instead, a free kick given away. So Brodie will set it up towards full forward. Bailey Banfield comes in, two hands to it, spits out to Schultz, snaps it on goal, trickling towards goal. It's through for a minor score. So behind for the Dockers. They're out by 35 as we approach the half-hour mark in this final term.
Dockers will be back up into second. Melbourne, of course, still with a game to play. Anzac Day Eve game, the late game tomorrow against Richmond at the MCG. Hefty percentage as well over Fremantle as Chera has it in the middle of the ground for the Blues. Got it to Walsh, swept the hand pass forward. Tucker came to meet it. Spilled out to Cottrell. Then to Lobb. Lobb couldn't control it. Hewitt's there. Hewitt goes with a short hand pass again. It's on in turn to Nunes. Nunes into the left forward pocket. He wants to find a teammate and then taken over the boundary line by Young. Throwing deep in the left forward pocket. As far as the Blues are concerned, Lobb won it down. It went to Mundy. Mundy battles away. Still there to be won. Tries to pick it up. Up against Martin. It's been held to him. There'll be a ball up. Closing stages of the game. The Dockers are going to make it 4 straight wins and a 5th of the season.
Umpire puts it up. Swatting it down Young. Cripps. Handball away towards Newman. Nunes snaps it towards full forward and Ryan is there to mop up. He'll kick laterally to Logue, who marks in the left back pocket. Goes short to Schultz. 3 goals for Schultz tonight. Still, Fremantle 14 and zip when he kicks multiples. As Schultz will send it long towards the wing, looking for Frederick. Coming in from the side, Wiedering is able to mark, and he'll come inboard to Doherty. Doherty goes short and turns it straight over to Schultz. It's confirmation of Fremantle's legitimacy, their biggest scalp yet. They defeat the Blues by 35 points on a Saturday night out west.
We are the Freo Dockers. Freo, way to go. Get them real hearts and them down below. Oh, Freo, give them the only home. We are the Freo Dockers. We're the rollers, we're the rockers. We're the mighty Freo Dockers. We're gonna roll them and we'll rock them. We're gonna send them to the bottom. And if they get up, we'll do it again. The Dockers stop at nothing, nothing. Freo, way to go. Hit them real hard, send them down below. Oh, Freo, give them the old beat home. We are the Freo Dockers. Freo, way to go. Hit them real hard, send them down below. Oh, Freo, give them the old beat home. We are the Freo Dockers.
For the Fremantle Dockers, Lockie Schultz kicked 3. So too did Rory Lobb. Michael Walters got him back on the goal kickers list with a couple. Singles to Darcy, to Akers, to Brodie, to Taberner. And Sam Switkowski kicked the last couple to make sure he finished with 2 as well. For Carlton, Cripps with 3, 2 to Curnow, and singles to Mackay, to Martin, to Young, and to Owies. It was the Blues by 4 points at quarter time. And then Fremantle led by 19 at the half, by 32 at the final change. And they went on to win despite spirited effort by the Blues in that final term. Another quarter, winning it in the end by 35. 14-13-97 to Carlton, 9-8-62. Fremantle's, well, their second club song, if you like. AC/DC's TNT. absolutely fitting at the moment. They are dynamite at the moment, the Fremantle Dockers. Concerns over 2 rucks, one for Fremantle, one for Carlton. Both had to be subbed out. Pitnet at quarter time with a knee injury, and what we can only assume is either a head injury or concussion to Darcy. They both ended up on the benches. Darcy subbed out in that last term after having his head stood on by Charlie Curnow, accidentally mind you, but still, nevertheless, finished in the tracksuit. They both walked off together onto the ground at the end of the game, sharing a few war stories, I would reckon. The Len Hall tribute game, mentioned at the very top of the program, a really important match for Fremantle, what it means to this football club. And in front of a sold-out Perth Stadium, the Dockers delivered. Cara Antonio and Michael Braun, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, fantastic. I suppose Carlton, you mentioned it that quarter, they fought hard. They fought hard, but the third quarter did let them down. And Freo were able to kick away and kick a number of goals, and it was just, too little too late for the Blues. And again, their second half's really killing them. And to Fremantle's credit, though, they were fantastic around the contest. That first quarter was an arm wrestle, but I think from quarter time they controlled the ball. They were able to find avenues to goal. Their tools stood up, and they were able to hit the scoreboard and hit scoreboard pressure, which, as you mentioned, Brawny, constantly wins your football games.
Yep, it's Michael Voss needs to address the third quarter starts, especially because that just sets up the last quarter to fail. Because if you get flogged in the third quarter and the game gets blown away, then your work rate and your intensity drops, and then the game is a really poor game. At least they stuck it out in the fourth quarter. But Charlie Curnow, Mackay, they were nowhere near it in the first 2.5 quarters, and then Curnow kind of started to come good late. But like you said, too little, too late, and it's a real issue for Carlton. And they are a very good side. Their midfield run, their backline run, they make a few mistakes, but geez, they move the ball well and they defend. And I like to think that Mackay and Curnow are probably the 2 most dangerous forwards in the competition. Going on where Kennedy and Darling were back in their heyday. I think these 2 guys, they've got a really big, bright future, but they've got to have more of an impact early on in the game. And they didn't have too much. They pretty much were non-existent, to be honest.
What do you put that down to? Do you give some credit to the back six of Freo, or is that a supply issue? It's
both, definitely.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we all hold Freo's backs in very high regard, but Carlton's midfield are very, very good. So it was a bit of both, I think. And we give them praise about splitting the defenders. So, maybe the supply wasn't there. Maybe the defenders were too good in the second half, clearly. But, it's just Fremantle, they're starting to play the games that I've seen. They're starting to play with a bit more zip, and they're playing tempo football. So they can kick, mark, hold that defensive kind of play up. But when they move the ball, they look so good. And when they're clean through that midfield and they run and carry, they're dangerous. And that's when you get the tapenades and the lobs one out. When they play that stop-start, they don't look as good, I don't think. But they're starting to come good. They're starting to believe in themselves, and I think it's just a maturity thing.
I think that you mentioned it just then, Brawny, the link up, the handball. The handball from behind, the handball receives, and their ability to move the ball quickly. It's an exciting brand of footy, and we've seen glimpses of it in the past, but I feel like it's all slowly coming together this season for them, and everyone's on board. They've had a number of seasons now under JL, and they're all on the one page, which is exciting, obviously, for the players, but more importantly for the fans that have been there through the highs and lows for the footy club. And tonight was an example of what it looks like at their best, and Carlton are a fantastic side. They've been in good form. So, the fans should be proud, but the boys and the coaching staff, no doubt, will be really happy with that win.
Yeah, my only criticism of the game is they let Carlton back in. And that could have had losing Darcy would have definitely had an impact. And on the other hand, losing Pitnet early for Carlton had a massive impact for Carlton. And that's probably what happened, where they didn't get the ball out of the middle. The Carlton midfielders probably getting a lot of the ball, but not into their forward 50. And that's because the ascendancy was in Fremantle's favour because Pitnet was off the ground. And is it DeConey?
Yep.
He tried hard, and he's not a ruckman. But I thought he played well, DeConey, given the fact he's up against Darcy, who is a mountain of a man. But yeah, that definitely hurt, and now it kind of falls into place now. That's probably why Carlton's key forwards weren't getting enough supply, because they weren't getting it out of the middle as often as they should have, given the fact that they were a ruck down.
Well, when your rucks aren't giving first possession to your midfielders, it becomes a little bit hard.
So the Fremantle Dockers, they make their way down the race. They'll be heading into their rooms. 14-13-97 to 9-8-62. A win to Fremantle over Carlton. They end a run of 4 straight victories by the Blues over the Dockers. I reckon this will be sung with a bit of gusto. You would think so, for what this means to this club on this particular night. Let's head downstairs to Cash Fodder's down in the rooms.
Yeah, the Dockers just getting ready to sing the song. Here they go.
See if we can also get you some news from downstairs about the reason that Sean Darcy had to be subbed out. I mean, I can tell you why. It's because he had his head stood on by Charlie Curnow. But was it concussion, or was it just an injury? Was there something else? We'll find out for you if we can from the Fremantle players, and hopefully have a chat to someone from both camps as well. I'll be a little bit disappointed if we don't get to speak to Adam Cherry, who I think you spoke to about 6 times at the end of last year.
Well, if we do, I'm going to ask him. He promised me he was going to tell me I would be the first person to know when his mind was made up. I was not the first person to know.
He didn't call you?
Didn't call me.
I can't believe that.
I know.
I thought you would.
He said, Ben, you keep asking me. You'll be the first person to know. I said, I'll hold you to that.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I thought you and he'd built a real relationship and friendship over the last couple
So did I.
of weeks of the season last year.
Obviously wasn't reciprocated.
To win like that for Fremantle, who, and this will annoy Fremantle supporters listening as they go home, I accept this, but quite often in the big marquee moments, the big matchups, the Dockers haven't been able to deliver. And while I understand people, the critics quite rightly would still say, look, Carlton are a developing side too. They haven't beaten a Melbourne or a Brisbane. I reckon this is still another big step forward for Fremantle from where they've been as a developing group under Justin Longmuir. Let's put the St Kilda loss as a bleep, because that was a poor performance. But this is a big win for them. This was a genuine test. And conversely for that, Carlton, I think, would go away being really disappointed that they couldn't get the job done here tonight.
Yep, totally agree. I think it got built up as the game of the round, and I think it delivered. I think it had everything. Had some highs, had some lows, had some good passage of play, had some good ball movement. But yeah, I have been a big critic of Fremantle and the way they've used the ball and the way that the stop-start. But I think JR, whatever he's doing, seems to be working. They seem to, as you said, Cara, they're all in. They believe in what they're doing, and they're moving the ball faster, which I like. They look exciting. The reason why they look good is because they've got fast, little small forwards. They're little fleet brigade, or you can call it. But yeah, the Schultzes and the Switkowski. Who else is down there? That's
we got Collier even ran really hard tonight, didn't he?
Collier. And not only do they look fast, they're clean. They put on forward line pressure, which is fantastic. You love small forwards who chase from behind. And then what happens with the Carlton forwards, or the Carlton defenders, I should say, it's perceived pressure. And all of a sudden, even though they're not putting on just as much pressure, Carlton think they're getting pressure even when they pick the ball up, and that's the pressure that you want, because they think they're going to get, and then they rush the ball, turn the ball over, and they do their job. I really like their exciting brand of football.
I do too. obviously love the footy club, and over the years, you know, sometimes you see glimpses of what's possible, and to be able to see, I suppose, the last 6 games now and to see what they're capable of. Tonight was a big game for both clubs, and you know, the way that they came out, they were in the game for the entire game, apart from obviously a couple of ebbs and flows in that last quarter, and Carlton were able to kick a few, but it's exciting to watch. They're quick, they're clean, and you know, no doubt that this is exactly what has been building over the last couple of years with JL at the helm.
Just one rider on it, and I'll pose it as a question rather than a statement, but Pitnet out early with that knee injury. Silvani's been their backup ruckman. Now, Silvani's not a great backup ruckman, but when they lose Pitnet, they don't have Silvani. How much did that impact what they've been doing and their structure, etc., and maybe just derail Carlton slightly and prove advantageous to the Dockers?
Oh, definitely, and you mentioned that, Brawny. To some extent, definitely, and especially losing him early probably didn't help their cause. They were still able to win clearances, and especially out of the centre. +4 in clearances out of the centre and +3 overall. So they were getting clearances. It's probably the quality of clearances, because I think the pressure from the Freo mids was extremely high. I mean, Fremantle lost the tackle count quite convincingly, but it was, again, that perceived pressure that had been built and in that first quarter and transpired over the game. But definitely structurally, rotations, when you've got a big man down and others have to step up, would definitely have hurt their cause for the game.
And especially an experienced ruckman too. And I thought that he was on top of Darcy early. Like the first 5, 6, 7 minutes, I thought he was getting around the ground, and he was winning that. So yeah, I thought it had a bit of an impact. It had more of an impact than you think.
And they're +3 in clearances, Carlton, in the end. And you guys can speak to it. What happens when you lose your ruckman or your ruck? You're on your back foot. You're a little more static at stoppage. That's their go-to. I don't think yet they're a great defensive side. They're not yet a great ball movement side. But what they're great at is winning the clearances and winning it out of the middle and then being able to set it up from there. They couldn't do that tonight. So that would have, I think, derailed them a little bit. I still think it was a really good win to Fremantle, but it's an interesting...
But you have a look at the reason why they do this, because Pitnet would give it to Cripps.
Yeah.
And you can't tackle him because he's 6'6".
Yep.
And that's why they get that centre bounce clearance. Yep. And then when you haven't got that ascendancy, I said, DeConey he done a good job. I thought he was okay around the ground, but you have a look at the last quarter, the last 15 minutes when Darcy wasn't involved, they started to get on top. In the centre, because Cripps, again, big boy, and then Rory Lobb, they lost their structure up forward, and all of a sudden Tabernar wasn't having the greatest night, so and Rory was kind of clunking a few marks here, and he was presenting, so it does have an effect on it. Absolutely it does.
How did you rate Lockie Schultz tonight?
We'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, we will. We've had some discussions.
I'm not asking for your 3, 2 and 1. Just what a general... I thought he was terrific, and I know Ben loves his stat, and it's a very good one, but not just in terms of the goals, but his efforts. What do you have tonight with disposals around the ground?
16.
16?
Yep.
He's just a little ball of energy.
Yeah,
and he just helps Fremantle so much. I think he's a great... I say it with the stat, a great barometer for them.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Ben. I said I haven't heard much of him, but I'm going to kind of pay a bit more attention, because I've watched the last few games of Fremantle up here, and he seems to be that real energizer that the guys love. He's happy. He looks like he's well liked in the group. He's got good skills, and he does the team things, you know, and that's invaluable for a player when you don't put yourself first, and your teammates know that. You know, you're a team man. You wear your heart on your sleeve, and I think that's what sort of player he is.
Fremantle victorious tonight. A big win for the club on a big night for the club, winning by 35 points, 14-13-97 to Carlton, 9-8-62 in front of a crowd of 42,302. Let's head downstairs. Akash Fodadar's got Caleb Sarong with him. Akash.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. Caleb, well played tonight. A game like the Len Hall tribute game, what does that mean to the team and the club?
It's massive. For me, I haven't played in a Len Hall game before. I think last year was a big build-up, and then we went to a snap lockdown just before the game, so there was no crowd. But tonight was awesome, seeing Optus at pretty much capacity at what we could have it, and all the Freo fans out was amazing. And then the service before the game, having Arthur Leggett there recite the ode was pretty special, and we had to kind of build up through the week to honour the Anzacs, and I think we did that.
Taking on another team that was 4-1 going in, what was the build-up like throughout the week? What was talked about and how to beat Carlton?
For us, we just wanted to play our way. I feel like we've been doing that, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've really been sticking to our roles and game plan, and it's been holding us in really good stead. With Carlton, we knew they were in some really good form, especially the way they started games. Their first quarters and first halves especially is quite hot, and they get the ball going forward and get it to their big guys pretty quickly. So we knew we had to stop that, and then if we could kind of grind it out, we felt like we could get on top in the second half.
And was there anything talked about playing against Adam Cerra, particularly as a midfield group, playing against him for the first time?
For us, we just wanted to play against their midfield. We know they've got some stars in there, Cripps, Walsh, Hewitt. They're all playing some really good footy, and they're giving their forwards a lot of good looks. So we just wanted to maintain them and then beat them on the outside when it was our turn. And I felt like we were able to do that. We were able to really contain their... I guess their stoppage wins a lot around the ground. We're able to send them back and force them to kick it long and allow our backs to do some work. But they're always going to get some looks. They're a talented midfield, so... work done in the end.
Caleb, I'll throw you upstairs to our team. Clint Wilden, Ben Cameron, Cara Antonio and Michael Braun.
Caleb, it's Clint Wilden here. I might just get you to turn around for us, big fella, because you're blocking our line of sight of the microphone. Thank you very much. I'm really keen to know your thoughts on a couple of things. Firstly, Michael Walters. We know he'd been battling in front of goal, but it seemed to give us a real indication of where Fremantle are at as a team at the moment. When he kicked that first goal, players came from all parts of the ground to celebrate with him. How special was that? How important was that?
It was awesome for Sonny and for the team, but I think the commentary around Sonny being out of form and not kicking goals hasn't been acknowledged in the four walls at all. His pressure that he's bringing to our forward half has been first class. He's valuing that above all, and our team is valuing that pressure above all, and we're really acknowledging that inside the four walls, and we really know and appreciate what Sonny's been able to do, and we knew it was going to turn. I was talking to Sonny last week. I knew that a bag's not far around the corner and a few are going to start falling, and that dribble from Sonny, that's just typical Sonny. So it's great to see him get on the scoreboard tonight, but we're valuing the other things he's doing.
That was a great goal. So too was Blake Acres. Now, as a goal of the year winner yourself, how do you rate the Blake Acres goal from, well, if you turn around, just that pocket that you're standing right next to?
It was pretty impressive. I think I was right there, and to see that hand to foot, how quick it was, and just to see the perch he got on it straight through, was pretty impressive, and he gave the crowd a bit, which is always nice.
I guess one of the interesting things for Fremantle, I know Michael and Cara will go into the nitty-gritty stuff, but last week you have a standout goal kicker with Matt Taberner, who boots 7. And then tonight you've got a spread. Lockie Schultz with 3, Lob kicks 3, Switkowski gets a couple, Walters gets a couple, and other players are able to chime in as well. How pleasing is that as a group?
It is, and it's really pleasing because I think the forward line do a lot of work on their work together and their connection, and we saw some vision during the week last week of a couple of Tabs' goals, and it was on the back of some blocks from our small forwards and Lobby as well, getting back and supporting him, and he was just able to get on the end of a couple, which was really nice. But tonight, I've got no doubt Tabs would have been doing those selfless things, and a few of the other boys like Shooter were able to get on the end of a couple, and Lobby was able to take a few nice marks up forward. So it's a collective effort. For us, we don't care who kicks the goal as long as they're being kicked.
Yeah, it's a good attitude to have, Caleb. This is Michael Braun here. Well done on your game and on the win. 25 touches for you personally. Well done. I'm going to go a bit of a left field one here for you. Your ability to run and cover the ground, I'm quite impressed with. And do you do the beep test pre-season?
No, we did 4 repeat 1Ks, so that was pretty grim. We did a couple of those just when we got back, and then after Chrissy. So
what about your 1K time trials? What are they, and how much rest do you have in between each K?
It was on the 8 minutes, so we'll get them done. I think I was getting them done in the first one we were flying, so just over kind of 3 minutes, just over 3:10. I think my average is about 3:15. So they're pretty grim, but there's definitely a few better runners at the club than me. I think Andy covers the ground, and our high forwards like Michael Frederick and Trav Collier are pretty impressive.
Yeah, our commentator up here, Benny Cameron, he reckons he's doing 3:05s at the moment. That's on his bike, but
On a motorcycle,
I was also impressed with your defensive rolling zone. Are you spending a lot of time on that? There was a bit of play where Carlton tried to get out of their defensive 50 and they ran on one side, come back to the other side, and that rolling zone just looked magnificent, and it was really well done and executed. Do you spend a lot of time on that at training?
Yeah, we do. That's our team defence. That's, I guess, for us, that connection between the mids, forwards and backs. There's no gaps, and we're just trying to, I guess, really stay connected throughout the whole ground and make it hard for the opposition to exit their defensive half. And I feel like we do a lot of work on that.